Yo, you tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Guerilla Cross Radio, streaming live on GorillaCross.com and the free Guerilla Cross app. Make sure you download that app in your app store or go to GorillaCrossRadio.com for a direct download of that. You can call us up today, 702-608-3259. Give us your opinions on the show and anything we're talking about today. We want your opinion too, you know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Quan59. Got my man, Killer Cream Muller in the building. What's good? That's a killer haircut, by the way.
Nah.
I like it. It looks really...
Think. It's still got a little more work to do, but you know what I'm saying? Didn't have to show up my Sunday best all the time.
You feel me?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We kicking it.
Yeah, we are kicking it. We have a special guest live in the studio with us, Antonio Brown's biggest fan.
Oh, man.
My man, Jose. What up, dude?
What's
Sudden
up,
Death
man?
Sports. I had to do that to you because I know you were scared that I was.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah. But, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. Should be fun, man. I've been following the show, following what you guys are doing. I love what you guys do on here. The culture, the hip-hop, the music, the sports, everything. And like you said, sometimes you veer off a little bit, but it's a good thing, though. It's a good show.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we talk about stuff that has nothing to do with anything in life, no topics at all. But hit us up, 702-608-3259. Follow us at Guerilla Cross on all social media and at Unnamed Sports Show on all social media. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Not a lot to talk about, but we have a lot of NFL to talk about. We're going to give our week 2 picks. And I'm interested to see, because I kind of know how most of the guys on the show are going to pick. I'm interested to see how Jose is going to pick.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know who your teams are. I'm not sure how you pick, so I'm just interested.
I got you. Okay.
You feel me? Listen, if you guys are watching live, please share the live video feed with your people. And we are here for the next hour and a half. We're going to talk about some Las Vegas sports as well. A lot going on this weekend, Jose. So we're going to talk to him about that because I know he covers a lot of Las Vegas sports out here. You were at the Lights game last night, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, they didn't get the W, but you know what, man? It was a great game.
Yeah.
They did play good, yeah.
So listen, man, if you're in Las Vegas, there's a lot of sports going on now in the city. So there's always something to do. Always something.
Yeah,
Cream's wearing his Knights shirt.
This weekend.
I'm wearing my Knights shirt.
This weekend's going to be
lit.
Like
the kids say.
The whole weekend.
Yeah, this is like what it's like to be a major sports city. Like, this weekend, everything's going on.
We got NASCAR.
Aces. Knights
Aces first playoff
game
ever as the Aces. I know you San Antonio Stars fans are getting mad at us for saying that, but this is the first time we've had the team, so it's our first playoff game ever.
And if one thing we've shown, we show up for the playoffs for sure.
Not only that, it's at Thomas and Mag. Let people know that.
Thomas
it's
and
not
Mag.
at the normal
and did
spot.
we ever settle?
Which I still don't know why.
Set in stone if it was the 2 or 3 o'clock?
I know. Is there anything going on at
2
Mandalay
o'clock.
Bay
2 o'clock?
on Sunday that they
I'm not
don't want to
sure.
have the game there? I'm a little
Maybe
confused about that.
Chris Angel's disappearing or something. I don't know.
I hope so, because that show is not the greatest.
I heard the show's kind of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more about himself than it is the magic, to be honest
Surprise.
with
The
you.
good news is I was definitely planning on going to see it. I was not. I made it up.
Hey, but you know what? Everybody has their own opinion, so you got to watch it for yourself. If you
Well-
don't like it, then hey, you don't like
I
it.
already know
My
I won't
opinion
like
is
it.
I was never going to watch it to begin
Yeah.
with. That's my.
I got you. I got dragged into it, so it was free. I can't complain about that at least.
Exactly. Listen, if you missed a live show, make sure you check out all the replays on the Guerilla Cross app. You can watch and listen to the podcast on every show. So it's a free app. If you guys don't download free stuff, then you're pretty dumb. I'm just, listen, I don't like talking about people, but you're dumb. So download that.
It's
If
free.
you don't want to be dumb, download that.
It's free.
It's free.
I mean, what else can you say?
Exactly. I want to get into first. I want to get this out of the way because it's annoying. And I watched probably half of their games. Team USA lost 2 games in a row. They don't lose in international play often. It's been a while. They lost yesterday to France, which knocked them out of medal contention. So they had to play today to try to get 5th place. And they lost again to Serbia. What do you guys think about this? Did you expect this to happen? And what does this do for the future of USA basketball? And what Jerry Colangelo said, we'll get into that in a minute. But what do you think about these games, Kareem?
I think we all knew this was like the G squad,
Yeah.
if even that. As we were talking about yesterday, we probably don't have 25 of the top 40 teams, 40 players in the world anymore.
Yeah.
So once you get down to that bottom part of the 20s, you're even in the playing field, and we all knew that. We knew this team wasn't that great. There's like, 6 Spurs on this team? Or whatever. Like, there's more Spurs.
There's 4 Celtics.
It's 4 Celtics
Yeah.
on the team, and they were a 4 seed just in the NBA. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? What
Exactly.
are they going to be in the world? So, I mean, it's not really a surprise. People are acting like it's a surprise. The France thing, I mean,
France has played together a lot.
They've played together for a while.
They have at least 4 NBA players on that
NBA
squad.
players, and there's different rules internationally.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert, who wins Defensive Players of the Year in the NBA, can just plant himself in the paint
And knock the ball off
and knock
the
the
rim.
ball off the rim. So, I mean, as that game was unfolding, you could kind of see it going their way. As far as today's game, man, we're USA. You play for gold. There's no way we cared about this game.
I didn't care to even watch it.
I didn't either. I heard we had an extra game, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
cool story. I know it's
I didn't even know they were going to play today, to
Yeah.
be honest
I
with
didn't
you.
either. It's like, listen, if you're knocked out, you're knocked out. You need to go home.
And playing against us is a big deal for everybody.
It's not like it's like 5th grade basketball where, we need to place you somewhere. No,
Right.
you lost. You're
You lost.
out.
If you're not playing for a bronze, then what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the
But
point
also,
of playing for a 7?
And if you're not playing for LeBron.
but I think, some of these other teams, I think they're playing to qualify for the Olympics next year. I don't know exactly how that, not next year, but 2020, which
Yeah.
is next year.
good
math,
job. It's
good math,
a
Muller.
couple months away.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Glad you went to school there. It's
literally
okay.
4 months away. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure we didn't care about this game. We care about goals, and every other team cares about beating us. And Serbia was talking about playing us before they lost
For the
their
gold
game,
medal.
which is probably what
That's supposed to be the
made them
gold medal
lose their game.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking about us. So they had us on their mind the entire time, and we're ready to go home.
Yeah. Jose, what do you think, bro?
The thing about it is, to be honest with you, I think that what USA basketball and USA basketball fans have not understood is that the rest of the world is caught up. You have teams in Canada winning the NBA championship. You have a player from Greece winning the MVP. You have players from France winning the Defensive Player of the Year. The league has changed. The game has changed. Not only that, you have 35 players from the original player pool that were selected to play for the U.S. team. Only 4 of those guys went to China. So that just shows you, hey, we got the Olympics next year. We got a lot of stuff going on with free agency right now.
Yep.
We don't really want to play for Team USA right now. But like I was talking to Quan earlier about, is this going to be a whole nother story of the Redeem Team 2 all over again? Is this what it's going to come to now because of what's going on with this team? And then with Coangelo's comments.
Yeah.
I mean, are you basically
So
trying to
tell them
threat
what
people?
they said about Colangelo.
So basically, Coangelo said that he won't forget the play. Basically, he won't forget the people that backed out of the World Cup this year. But it's like you said, Quan, you better not forget them, and you better make sure you bring them to the Olympics.
If you forget them, then you're going to lose the Olympics, which, let's face it, they're trying to make the World Cup like the biggest thing for international basketball.
Before the Olympics, too, it's tough.
But it's not the biggest thing. The Olympics will always be the biggest thing for international basketball, no matter how they try to push it, it's not going to happen like that. So, with that being said, you have to try to get the best players to want to play for the Olympics. The World Cup was not a big deal to them. The Olympics is a bigger deal. And the fact that the World Cup this year was right before Media Day starts in like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So if they would have went to the gold medal game, which is on the 15th, they would have had and they're in China. So you got to fly back, try to get your mind right and your timing right, your sleep schedule right, and then go to Media Day and start an NBA season that does not end till May or June, depending on how far you get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I understand why they did it. But at the same time, with that excuse being there, other countries' players weren't backing out because of that same reason they're playing the NBA. So we saw France with at least 4 NBA players, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
well, I can tell. Well, the difference is though. I don't know what the difference is. Actually, that's a good point. I mean, France didn't back out, but at the same time, those players who have those teams that have NBA players in France, for example, Rudy Gobert doesn't live here. He lives. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be, and he's leaving this country once the season's over. He's going to France.
He's done. Yeah,
right, because that's where he lives. It's a little. It might be a little different. I don't know how psychologically that works on them, but another thing we have to understand, to piggyback off your point, Jose, is this whole thing with the world catching up. That was the plan. That's the reason why we had the Dream Team wear Nikes all through 1992 and showcase all the best players to bring up the rest of the world, to bring up our international base as far as ratings and merchandising. So we should have been prepared for this, and in a way we were, and it could go either way. It could be like the Redeem Team, where guys like LeBron and Curry and Harden are like, no, we're not getting 5th place ever again. Or it could also be Paul George broke his leg trying to get on this team.
That too.
Is
and
it worth it?
What's crazy about it, like we were talking about, the world has caught up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the NBA and the Americans basically haven't understood. And how crazy is it that the guy that has basically made European players shine and has brought a lot more than any other coach is coaching the U.S.
Popovich,
you know what I mean?
that's
Popovich
crazy.
has had all those players.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how now these players, these style of players that he's recruiting are the ones that are beating him now that he's taken over the team.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Even the games that Team USA did win, they did not look that great.
I was
overall.
actually more surprised about the overtime win than I was about the loss of France.
Yeah.
That
Really?
overtime
Really
game was
interesting.
the overtime. I was like, wait,
Well,
was it Turkey?
there was
right?
at least 8 opportunities to really lose that
we
game.
looked terrible in that game. The France game, France played really good. We looked awful in that Turkey game. So that's the game where I was like, oh boy, this is. I mean, we talked about it way before. I would have been shocked if we actually would have gotten a gold out of this.
Not only that, I think it snaps a streak of 7 major international tournaments, 4 Olympics and 3 World Cups where they captured a medal. The last one being a gold. So the last 5 were gold medals, which is tough, man. I mean, you're gonna basically play for a 7th place game. You're gonna basically say we were the 7th best team in this tournament.
Mm-hmm. And
what are you really playing for as a player right now, mentally?
And that's the thing, and that's the way they've caught up. They haven't caught up by having better players than us. That's probably never going to happen. I mean, NBA started here, basketball started here on this hemisphere.
I wouldn't say
not
never,
in this country,
though.
but in this hemisphere.
It'll be a while.
Well, the fact that
because the MVP plays in Greece,
right? But the number 1 league is here.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, it'll probably always be that way. But how they've caught up with us is the players who are not quite first tier are all playing together. They know how to play as a team, which is why Golden State plays so well together. Even when guys go down, they still keep these games close because they're not reliant on star power all the time. They have stars, don't get me wrong, you can't win without them.
Yeah.
But they have a system that's in place that they know at the back of their hands whenever times get tough, they can say, okay, let's rely on what we know. And Team America doesn't have that. We're just a bunch of guys who've played together that summer. That's it.
So you think that Popovich just doesn't have the correct system out there? He hasn't been able to feel these guys out?
I think it was hard not knowing what players are going to be there either the whole summer.
And I don't know how you can implement that system when your newest player got there 10 days before the tournament started.
So straight out, cause for concern for Team USA moving forward. Yes or no? Especially moving into the Olympics.
Definitely, because are these players going to want to play in the Olympics too, or are players going to back out? Because I think a lot of the players were backing out because their friends were backing out. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're going out as a group of people, like, hey, I have 20 people. We're going out. We're going to go to the strip. We're going downtown. And probably go to brunch.
Gotta get the mic
probably 5 of those people in the 20 group are your like close friends, like that you would actually want to kick it with. When one of your close friends drops out, you're like, oh, hey, are you still going, Cream? Oh, yeah, I'm going. Okay, cool. Are you going, Todd? Yeah. Then Todd and Cream drop out. Now I might have one friend out of the 20 that's still going. I'm going to be like, maybe I'm going to drop out now too because I don't want to be in that group of people like that I know,
really know
but
them.
I'm not trying to like really hang out with them in China for 3 weeks.
And the perfect example of that is Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, none of them dropped out, so all of them stayed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's how that works, but if the first guy
none of them dropped out.
So all of them did not drop out. No, that's how it works. But
you'll stay, I'll stay. Why not?
Right, exactly. The first guy didn't leave, so they were all like, okay, well, let's do this.
Yeah.
So then who's the player or the players that have to come back for this team in order for them to get back? I'm not going to call it the redeem team again because I'm like you and I said, I just don't like
there's other words
that phrase. But what players have to come back to make this team relevant again and back to where they should be?
I think they're all coming back, honestly. I think I don't think that...
They being who? Who are the main players you see has to come back for this team to solidify? Who has to be the guy? Because when the redeem team it was Kobe Bryant. Let's be real.
Yes.
Kobe and LeBron were like the guys that were like, okay, we're going to take this team and do what we have to do.
LeBron was already on the team.
I still think, I think LeBron
and Wade.
So LeBron has to play that part of Kobe.
Okay, that's what
I don't know if he would have
but will he do it though? Will he do it?
I think
at this point.
I think the first
Team
guy...
USA has to sell LeBron on it. This is your last chance due to your age to participate in an Olympics competitive for your country.
But is he going to want to at this age?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
If he's trying to win championships and make some movies...
This is probably his last chance because 2024, how old is he then?
He might have to film some Space Jam next year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's going to have to be a guy who has a lot of friends around the league.
I think
Curry,
Curry, LeBron,
Harden, Durant are the 3 guys. Curry,
so
Harden,
not
Durant.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is done, man.
Well, they won't bring Melo, so probably not.
What if they do bring Melo?
They should have brought Melo. Melo should be playing right now.
In China, you should have took Melo. What's the worst that could happen?
And here's my biggest issue. You didn't want the ISO ball, but Kemba's playing ISO ball
you don't
the whole entire fourth quarter.
Entire time. What do you think Donovan Mitchell's playing? You think he's doing backdoor cuts? No.
See, that's the thing. It leads back to the system.
What do you think Jason Tatum's doing?
They need to figure out a system for this team if you're going to have these guys.
Listen, you don't need a system they don't necessarily need a system when you're the most talented team by far. When you're not, then you're going to want guys who are together more than a week and a half.
We were up going into the fourth quarter against France.
Mm-hmm.
Kemba Walker would not pass the ball. Everything was either him shooting the ball or him trying to go in for a layup, which you said Rudy Gobert, the best defensive player in the NBA, is playing for France, and now he's able to knock the ball off the rim in international play. So that wasn't happening. And I'm surprised Popovich left him in after that because that's not the type of ball that Popovich even likes for the Spurs. So for someone to do that,
but see, that's
international.
That's another thing. Before it was Coach K, you already know how I feel about Coach K.
Yeah, and I like him for USA.
But now that you have NBA coach, if you have an NBA coach doing it now, there's politics that are involved now.
Yeah,
you can't really afford to upset stars like that. You can't say, Kemba, come sit down next to me. Really? What happens when his player option comes up in 3 years? You know what I mean? Now it's a politics game. I don't know if you can really do it like that the way Coach K could have. I don't know if there's really any answers.
Coach K has no ties to the NBA.
No ties.
Not only that, Coach K sees you as a person.
He's just
a player.
And all he cares about, all he has to care about is the final score.
That's it.
Popovich has to worry about, unless he plans on retiring anytime soon.
Which is very possible.
But even if he does, he'll probably still work with the Spurs.
Yeah.
So before he retires, though, I'm just got to throw this out there since you're talking about Coach K. Do we see him in the NBA anytime before he retires?
Coach K? No.
Coach K, absolutely.
All right.
He makes way too much money.
No, I agree. I just want to throw that out there. That's all.
If he didn't take that Laker job back when
he's
Kobe wanted him to do it,
he's not.
Yeah.
He's not taking any job.
Yep. Todd is in the building. If you saw him, kind of shining through on the video screen,
very professional-like, setting up
his laptop, and got here at 3:15 for a 2:00 show. It's all right. We moved the show back to 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock show.
Oh, so Todd's the one that said I'm on my way for a 2 o'clock show, and it was
Yeah.
already past. Got it. Okay, just want to make sure
He's here.
Yes, let's go with that. Todd's the one.
It's all Todd. And Kareem.
Todd is the only one who did that. Let's go with that.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take the rap.
Well,
Thank
you just did the thing.
Thank you. We took it for
Thanks for the permission,
we
Todd.
gave you
Thank
the rap.
Yeah, you.
So you,
You can't really plead guilty here.
but how you feel about USA, Todd?
Honestly,
Not as a country. I know you want to make America great again, but as like Team USA.
Oh God.
I did that for Dave.
honestly, when I first heard about the basketball World Cup, I know it's been going on for a few years, but it was not in my I feel sports pretty well all around, and I just didn't even know about it. I think it's been going on for a few years.
It used to be called the World Championship.
Yeah,
The FIBA World
Yeah.
Championship.
FIBA World Championship. That's what I was about to ask.
So,
But they think the World Cup is obviously because of soccer.
It makes sense.
Bigger brand, but
I was always finding having trouble finding what the incentive was for these players to give up a big part of their summer and off season to go represent. And I think being 1 year out from the Olympics, I think the timing was bad for that. If they did it every other year, kind of like how.
Isn't that what it used to be?
well, the World Cup is every 4 years.
Yeah, we'll have the World Cup, but then the Euro Cup, if you're a soccer fan, is every. It's also every 4 years, but it's 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So there's always a 2 years in between
And
them.
I feel like it
Confederations
used to
Cup,
be.
all
Yeah,
that
the
stuff,
soccer fans aren't here
But-
today, Todd. I feel like it used to be.
I feel like it used to be
every
He's a
2 years,
light
Yeah.
spread,
right? Like the FIBA World Championships
Yeah, I
were
think it was.
Yeah.
for example, 2014,
And it makes more sense that way.
and
Yeah.
the Olympics were 16. And I feel like that's how it used to be.
I just feel like it was a timing thing, and you're asking these young guys to give up, like I said, their summers and their off season they're just to play more basketball. They've already proved themselves. They
But
make
like
a lot
I
of
said,
money.
the
They're not
international
getting
players are
paid.
doing it too.
Yeah,
That play in the NBA.
maybe they
You
have
don't see
more.
them complaining about it.
They don't, but maybe they have some more pride. I don't know.
Well,
Does it
and
come
that's-
down to pride or
Isn't that a big point of it
ego?
though?
Or if it what you simply said before is a few guys pull down, all their friends are like, I don't want to play
And-
either, and
and-
that was that. It's just
Yeah.
that simple.
Here's another thing too. The NBA title is already considered the World Championship to everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The
So-
NBA World Championship
World
is
Cha-
what
right.
it's called.
But that's a myopic thing for us as Americans.
Yeah.
For us as Americans, and you can throw in Canada too. We think that we already have a World Championship, and the rest of the world just recognizes that as the World Championship.
Yeah.
And no, there's other countries who are like, whoa, we got our own championship we care about too, bro.
Yeah.
We've had players that are European players that we tried to get over to America for years, for a decade even.
Yeah.
But that's always
And they're not like Sergio Yul. We'll be trying to get him in America for almost 10 years. He's not coming because he likes his league. He likes where he plays, and that championship's important to him.
Yeah.
So it's a myopic thing for us that we think this is it. This is the standard bearer, and that's all everybody thinks. And maybe that's why these other players from other countries aren't dropping out, because they consider that an actual world championship where we don't.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you do win the NBA Finals, you're the NBA champion. You're not the world champion. It's not like in baseball where you're the World Series champion. And even Greg Popovich
Even then,
talks
it's the same
about.
thing.
Yeah, I know. Greg Popovich talks about that too. He's like, someone was interviewing once. I think after he won 3 or 4, he's like, oh yeah, the three or 4 time world champion coach. And he's like, no, I'm actually the NBA champion head
Yeah.
coach.
It's
And
called
he
the
made-
National
Yeah.
Basketball Association.
So even though this is the premier league of basketball, and it has the best players from all around the world, it's still just the association. It's not the world. It's not the global effort where country versus country.
And not only that, going back to your point, Kareem, you're talking about these guys that are winning championships or playing for 10 years, or they're trying to get to the NBA. You have players like Luka Doncic that come to the league at 19 that are already veterans that have won championships.
Remember, he went
You
to
see what I'm saying?
16.
So that's what that goes back to my point earlier. Team USA and USA in general needs to understand that Europe and the European game has caught up drastically.
Yeah.
And not only the European game, Brazil, everybody else, all these
Yeah,
countries have
Argentina.
caught up. So therefore, Team USA needs to change it up, and that's what I see that they're not doing right now.
I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a way to do it, which I know it'll probably never happen. But since we're talking about what's the world champion as opposed to NBA champion, if there was a way to take these other leagues and their champion
Oh,
Set up a
Champions
tournament-
League,
set up
like
a
a
tournament
Champions
that
League.
way.
UEFA Champions
Yeah,
Cup.
set up a
I think
tournament
that is
that
pretty
way.
cool. Yeah.
So it'd be the Raptors. I mean, good luck getting them all together in the same locker room again. They're like, nah, sorry, Kawhi, you're out. But
And that's the hard part because free agency
free
starts
agency,
right
yep,
after the NBA
exactly.
season.
So
But it's
it
crazy
could
you
probably
s-
never happen, but it'd be
But
fun
here's
to
the
see.
thing: it can't happen because, like we said, soccer leagues already do it.
Yeah.
There's soccer leagues that get the European champion against the MLS champion against the Mexican champion, and they play them in a tournament. If they can already do it, now granted,
Yeah.
those tournaments don't come out with the best players overall because they sit a lot of the stars. But if you're already doing it in one league that's international, why can't you do it with the NBA or the basketball? I think that's a great idea. That's a good idea.
Great idea, but I don't even know if NBA owners will go for it
Probably not.
because I mean,
The injuries. and
let's
all
say
that's
Golden
gonna be
State
werewolf.
won. Let's say Golden State won the Larry O'Brien this year, and I'm gonna let Steph go out by himself while Clay's recovering,
Nah.
and then what? We're gonna. You think Katie's gonna answer my phone call?
Probably not.
Not a chance.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna
And
happen.
I'm not even gonna call him. I'll be like, yeah, no, we're good, guys.
But that's what I'm saying. They're probably going to play their scrubs
Yeah.
just like in these soccer tournaments.
Yeah.
They don't. It's rare that
I
you even
just
see a
wish
name
there was a way
you know?
it could happen, but
And speaking of calling, you guys can call us 702-608-3259. Give us your opinions on Team USA and everything else we're talking about. We're going to get into the NFL here in a minute. Do you guys think the best players will play in the Olympics next year? Because we did qualify, and actually we only qualified by winning one game.
Yeah.
If we would have lost 3 games in a row, we wouldn't have qualified for the Olympics.
I think so. I think that you're going to get the right players that are going to come out. I don't think it's just going to be anybody and everybody trying to be superstars that are going to come out. But I honestly believe that you're going to have the good role players that are sitting back watching this going, okay, if I can get this opportunity to go back or do this, I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. Let's try to fix this. Let's try to get this right. There's a lot of players in the league that respect Pop. So there's people that want to play for Pop, especially the guys that didn't go to the World Cup. So I see the right guys coming back for sure.
yeah, I think next year we get both Splash Brothers. I think we get Harden. I think we get
So another redeemed team.
I think we get
And then we
LeBron.
just smashed everybody.
What Kawhi?
Did you see Harden working on that one-footed jump, by the way, the other day?
I don't want.
Please
The Rex
don't.
Chapman shot?
Please.
That
I'm
Steve
gonna be
Nash?
horrible.
Let me tell you something. Let me. If you think Russ got angry during games before,
Oh, my
wait till
God.
the first time that guy does that step back one-legged jumper, and he literally strangles him to death on the court in front of a live television audience.
Oh, my God. That's going to be the best soap opera in the NBA this year, I think. Aside from the Lakers, I'm a Laker fan. I think they're going to be a soap opera too. But
Well, I'm a Rockets fan, so thanks for that. I think they'll be
Cannot
fine.
wait for the NBA season.
Why don't they do a Hard Knocks for the NBA? Put the Rockets on there this year. That'd be fun.
Nah.
He's like, nah, I'm good.
Nah.
Daryl Morey.
Actually, they already do have one. They have one like on a NBA. It's like what do they call it?
Training
24/7 or
camp probably
something like that, right?
It's called Summer League.
Maybe.
Is it? It's called,
It's called Summer
It's
League.
right down the street.
Right?
Oh
Or it's
my
called the
God.
season or something like
Called
that.
the NBA season.
Well, I mean, then again, we're just now getting a 30 for 30 on the 96 Bulls in
In
2020.
2021.
21?
Yes. Maybe 20. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm not.
I just remember when they
that's
announced
just
it.
too
I'm like,
much.
oh, cool. In a couple weeks. And,
And they were
well,
like,
wait, no, it's not.
2020.
Have to wait a year.
They're still gathering information or something.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yes, that's right, it is.
Let's ask Rodman some more questions
Oh, my
about
God.
Boy.
South Korea. Did you guys watch?
Not yet.
I have not watched the whole
Pretty
thing.
good.
I watched it in
Pretty
bits and
good.
pieces. I wanted to wait till later, but I didn't know when I get time. So I was like, while it's on, let me watch a little bit of it. What a odd life.
But you kind of see, and we'll get into it more in a week or two when you guys have all seen it, but you get to see all these stories of these people. You're like, man, I don't like that guy. That dude's crazy. When you see their childhood and how they grew up, you start understanding them more and understanding their craziness. And the public eye is really just like a fake persona that they don't even necessarily like or want to live.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to turn that off once they get that turned on.
And that's kind of the back end of using people for just their physical abilities, just their
Yeah.
bodies, and not worrying about their brain, their mental health, their emotions. You
This
just,
fool
just go
legit
out there and rebound.
This fool legit sat in the Palace of Auburn Hills parking lot when he played for the Pistons. Chuck Daly had left, moved on to other things, moved on to Orlando Magic. John Sally, one of his best friends, got cut and traded from the team. Well, not cut and traded, cut or traded. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
He was gone.
I think he was
Vinny
traded.
Johnson got waived because he was getting older. So the team changed. They talk about it being a family, and we talk about that in sports all the time. Oh, it's a family, and Dennis Rodman took that literally because he didn't really grow up with a family. So he's like, man, I got a family. We're going to be together forever. We're going to be a team that stays together for 10 years. It didn't happen like that. Dude went into a depression, didn't know what he wanted to do. And there's still back and forth if he was really going to commit suicide or not. But when they found him asleep in his truck, he had a shoe and a sock off, which is the way to pull a trigger on a shotgun. And he had the shotgun in his lap. And even Dennis Rodman was like, thank God I fell asleep. Thank God he made me fall asleep.
Wow.
Because he would have done it.
And I saw him
in the parking lot of Can you imagine that? Defensive Player of the Year, won 2 NBA championships, and then you
Security
find
shows
him
up the next day, just boom.
Yeah, they did like a like a biography, some movie about him, about his life, like back in the '90s, and I'd heard about that story, and I was so surprised people hadn't heard that before.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about it.
But then when he talked about it, he said, "I wasn't necessarily trying to kill myself. I was trying to kill Dennis Rodman to birth the worm." Nah, man, no.
You're trying to kill yourself.
You're not Thanos. That's not how this works.
That's tough though, man. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with any form of depression or any of that stuff. I've gone through a rough time the last 3-4 months of my life here recently, and when you fall into a part of depression, it's tough because you at times don't feel and don't know what's going on. Like I've literally been in bed where I'm laying there and I'm just laying there and I have a great day. I probably just came back from having a drink with my wife, dinner, whatever it may be, and it's time for bed and I'm laying there and I'm just like, why do I feel like this right now?
It's wanting to do something, but then not having. Then
exactly.
Also
so like I said, I didn't know that about Dennis Rodman, but I understand where he's coming from because when you hit a form of depression, it could be your past, it could be your present, it could be what you're. I mean, you just don't know what's going on at the time, so it's tough, man.
And there's a lot of people that deal with mental health issues. There was a pastor this week in California that a lot of my friends knew that committed suicide. And he had talked about dealing with depression, and that was one of the things. And they had a ministry reaching out to people that dealt with that. And I don't understand it because I've never even come close to having a suicidal thought. But the fact that somebody could be depressed, that's something you need to reach out to and know that that's real. And you're in that state of mind, and you could wake up tomorrow and be like, dang, what was I thinking last night? You know what I'm saying? Like I could have ended it all, but I feel fine today.
And especially in the 90s, depression wasn't the buzzword that it is now.
Yeah.
Back then, you heard the word depression.
You couldn't really
just
talk
thought,
about it.
This guy's in a bad mood.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what people thought.
Oh, I'm depressed.
Yeah,
how you feeling today? I'm a little depressed.
And honestly, back then it was a word that was overused. There are people who, because they didn't realize how serious it was, they're like, I'm just really depressed today. I'm gonna go eat some ice cream and feel better about it. You know what I mean? That's how it was kind of looked at back then. Now that we really know the in-depth of what that word really means, and people don't use it so flippantly like they did back then. Yeah. Now we understand the kind of stuff that Dennis Rodman was going through back then, and it makes more sense how he was acting back then. And they said something really interesting that in that show that I didn't even think about until they said it. And they were like, and because of what that did to him, how it made him act out, they said Dennis Rodman, for the 3 years that he was in Chicago, was more famous than Michael Jordan. Yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he was a better player,
hated
just more famous.
And more famous, and probably hated every second.
Because he was famous outside of NBA and basketball circles. Everyone knew Michael Jordan.
Star.
But yeah, there was people that knew Dennis Rodman because he had married or did he marry Madonna?
Didn't marry her.
He wasn't married with Madonna, but he was with Madonna.
She wanted his kid.
She wanted him to impregnate her. Is how she said it. But
yes,
but going back to the depression thing before we get off it too much,
sexy.
They've talked about giving a 3-digit number for the suicide hotline, because you know 911 for emergencies, 311 for non-emergencies, but suicide hotline, it's 1-800. I don't know, but I'm depressed.
I you know what I'm saying? So listen to this Logic song just to get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What about the 411?
Well, you get information.
Okay,
hey,
Mary
I
J.
want to kill myself. How?
Yeah.
And then real quick, man, the whole depression thing too that people need to understand. Just because someone hasn't been medically diagnosed with depression doesn't mean they're not going through depression. So please understand that. I have not physically gone to a doctor where I've gotten a sheet and they said, hey, this, but I know people that have, and I've talked to them about what I'm going through. I'm going through depression. Yeah. So you guys need to understand that if you're listening out there, that Just because someone doesn't have a paper from the doctor saying that they're a depressed person or whatever it may be, doesn't mean they're not going through it.
So check on your friends and people that are going through depression. Be vocal with your friends. Let them know that this is really what I'm going through. The people that are drama for no reason every day, stop being that, because now we take the people that seriously are depressed and be like, he's just tripping today. He wants attention on social media. And reach out to your friends and family to see how they're doing.
And also, don't always think it's the person who is acting, quote unquote, depressed.
Yeah.
There could be your friends who are always making jokes who are depressed.
Exactly.
Just like how Dennis Rodman was always looking like he was the life of the party, but was depressed.
Thank God Josh isn't here for this show.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, he'd be dying laughing right now. But
he's trying to kill himself.
Wow.
Like shotguns.
But all jokes aside, do reach out to people, reach out to your friends. Depression is a real thing. A lot of people go through it, especially in this day and age of social media. So now we have people that are 11 and 12 that in my day and age, I'm not sure if any of my friends that age went through depression, but now they are, because they have a standard to hold up on social media. They see what's popular, and I'm not getting these likes. And these kids are being raised through social media these days. And so there's a lot of younger people going through depression and mental health issues than there was before, you know? So I definitely think that, parents, watch what your kids are doing, and make them go out, hang out with people, even us as older people, like hang out with people in real life, man. Social media can be a downer if you're just sitting there all day on it, trying to compete with other people, trying to,
That's why it's called social media. It's a social platform for people to run them out and post whatever they want.
Meet people in real life, hang out with people in real life, call your friend, go to lunch in real life.
If you drink, you're an adult, go to a bar, have a drink, meet somebody new.
Just reading the news,
like
social media can do that. Like you're 11-year-old and you're like, wow, people are dying in Sarajevo, even if it's still
exactly
that's
the
a real
problem.
country.
There's so many people that believe more news on social media than they do the real news.
Oh, I do.
Like, come on, man.
I do at this point. It's like, I most of my news. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll go to the news after, but the first time I get my update, I'm like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
And then you click on it, and then you start reading articles, blah blah. But yeah, usually the first time I hear about something is through social media.
And we're getting a lot of complaints right now about Todd talking way too much. But we do have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Derek, North Vegas.
Derek, what's good,
Derek
bro?
Clark?
North Town.
It is.
Hey,
yeah. Anybody that I've been listening. Anybody that wants to come out, hang out with a couple of friends, come out to Electric Company for Las Vegas Lights game. It's just an open community.
Hey,
there you go. He's wearing the shirt right there.
I like it.
Beautiful shirt, Jose.
That is a really nice shirt.
nice shirt.
That's a really nice shirt and hat. It is a really nice shirt.
got the pin on the hat too. If you guys can see that,
I'm gonna tell you, the Lights colors are actually super
Those
dope.
Are sick.
It's not bad, right? Yeah.
I love their colors.
Nice. That black and pink. Yeah.
I kind of want that. I kind of want a shirt.
But
well,
also,
not that shirt. That's weird. But
can you guys exchange shirts right now on the show?
Okay.
I don't know about that.
We're not,
yeah, we
I'm not that into
shirts.
Derek, so let us know what's going on this Saturday, man, with the Lights and with you guys at the tailgate as well. I know you guys got some stuff going on there.
Yeah, so
what do you think about
we're going to
depression?
grill up hot dogs.
I was just trying to keep him on
I
topic.
forgot about that.
No, go ahead. I'm just messing with you.
Sucks.
I spaced out.
But no, like we're gonna be cooking. Like we'll start cooking at like 4:30. We're gonna have hot dogs on the grill. We got people bringing sides, lote dip. I think somebody's bringing tacos as well. We're gonna have Modelo's. We're gonna have Natter days. It's gonna be a good time.
Wow.
And go into the game and cheer on the Lights.
And
yet again,
sticking to the topic. Yes, let's stick to the topic. Since you did call in, how do you feel about
I need to
depression?
go to a game.
How do I feel about depression? It sucks, dude. I spent 10 years in the military and like in a very high stress job and environment. And yeah, it creeps up on you. You don't know what's there until one day you're just laying in bed, like
Wow.
Jose said, and you're like, why do I feel like this? This sucks. And so that's why, like, specifically the military has been taking a huge step to like find out if people are sad, if they're depressed, what's going on with their work life, stuff like that, because it is one of those environments where it's mainly work, little play.
Yeah. And I think the answer to depression is pizza and tacos.
Pizza and tacos. There you
Fuck
go.
yeah.
Helps my life.
Well,
I did have a question about the NFL though, like specifically with fantasy.
let's go.
All right, let's see what you got.
So Melvin Gordon, are we looking at a Le'Veon Bell situation? Like, I got him. I picked him up 4th round. I've already got Gurley and then also Eckler in play. But, like, I would like to free up that space if he's not going to be coming around, you know?
I'll let Jose answer this one.
I'm not a Melvin Gordon fan this year. I took Eckler right off the bat. He's actually one of my starters on one of my leagues. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't even worry about Melvin Gordon. Worry about the running backs you do have now. I don't see him coming back to San Diego. I think he's gone. So that's why I picked up Eckler. I think Eckler's the guy there. So if you have Eckler already, I believe you did say you do have him, I'd start him. Don't even worry about Melvin. Now, I wouldn't drop him because there's probably other people you can drop. I would still keep him
because he might get traded.
Exactly. So if he gets traded, then that opportunity is he's going to play. It's not going to be a Le'Veon Bell situation. So I wouldn't drop him, but I wouldn't keep him too long either. See what the situation is going to be like.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like keeping at least like 4 running backs in my inventory. That way I can play 2 and then have one as a flex, depending on the game. But yeah, I'll look at Gordon again, and because I want to pick up some nude wide receivers like Randall Cobb.
Nude?
Like that just came from Green Bay into Dallas. He had an amazing game at Dallas.
He scorched a giant.
Amazing.
Put your clothes on.
And he's returning all their kickoffs too. Like that's a no-lose situation with Randall Cobb. And also Geronimo Allison. He's having a great season.
Kicks.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins is
he can't still be a
great...
free agent in your league, can he? No way.
No. I don't think Sammy Watkins is a free agent.
He probably wasn't
definitely
before.
Set up a trade.
Yeah.
No.
Me personally, I
don't think anybody was expecting him to do that.
Hold on, Derek. I have a question because I'm looking at my league, and I know you're in my league. Is your name Dahmer's
you're out
House
of my
Ribs?
league.
Dahmer's House of Ribs?
Please tell me that's you.
That is correct. Yeah,
oh my God.
So good.
You last week, Jose.
That's
actually
so good.
That's funny.
Anybody with Eckler probably won last week. I've always thought Gordon had to report because I've always thought that if he stayed out too long, he'd realize that, oh boy, Eckler's really good, and I better get back in camp real quick. I better report real quick, or I'm gonna lose on $5 million and not have a spot left because they're gonna be winning without me. That's what I always thought. So I was same thing Jose said. I would hold on to him, but only hold on to him if it's to trade him because I think he's probably gonna get traded. Even if he comes back, he's just gonna bite into both Eckler and his own production.
True. All right. Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for the call, man. Download that app.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate it. Todd.
Yes, sir.
People are mad at you for wearing a button down with no sports
you see the
gear.
comments? You saw the comments.
He told you to wear a Rebel shirt.
I just commented to that gentleman. I'm not sure who it is.
Yeah, he's a Reno fan.
Nevada Wolfpack.
Reno.
I actually commented I'd probably never wear a UNLV.
If you had Wolfpack plus 70.5 this weekend, you would have lost.
It's true.
If you had the Wolfpack money line week 1, you would have made some money.
Yeah. Hey, 1-1, I'll take it right now. You know,
you have to because that's
we
what
lost.
the record
You're a Wolfpack
underrated.
fan? Oh, that's why you are a Wolfpack fan.
Arkansas State at home.
Yeah, it's kind of tough when you have a quarterback that can't throw the ball.
He went to Reno.
I was actually at that game. That was rough.
See, I didn't go, so I'm glad I didn't. I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
I figure one of these days I'm going to a Rebels game where we win. I'm not lying. I have not been to a Rebels football game that we won since I've been in Vegas. The first one I went to, we played against what was that? Who was the quarterback a long time ago?
Randall Cunningham.
Won the Heisman. Was drafted. Won the Heisman, but was a bust in the NFL.
Everybody from USC.
That's also correct. It was not John David Booty, but this was like 1989, 1990, and we lost like 56-0, and the fans were cheering for a first down.
Oh my god!
So I've been like, maybe I'm the reason. Nah, that's not it. We're terrible.
No, they suck. And Sam Boyd Stadium.
Have you seen any? Have you seen any of the 2 games so far? Did you watch any?
Rebels?
Catch anything?
I watched part of their first game, but that was it.
Dude, so I'm gonna say it right now. If you saw the last game and you saw the 58-yard bomb that Kenyon Oblad threw, it was a dart. There's quarterback controversy, especially on Monday after what Tony Sanchez said, saying he's our guy, talking about Armani, but he needs to make the plays. He's not making the plays.
Yeah.
He can run. We get that. We know he's a running quarterback. But when the guy can't throw the ball, you're not going to win a game, especially when you're coming from behind. You're not going to run the ball 30 times when you're losing by 30 points.
And if you're Sanchez, it's
it's do or die this year. Let's
pretty
be
much
real.
Totally.
I mean, he got the facility built, but at the same time, now it's time to
here's the thing,
to CYA.
He's a Fertitta guy. If they fire him, are the Fertittas going to take their money and run too?
Well, speaking of depression, talking about high school Las Vegas football is making everybody leave the chat. I'm joking, but we will move on to the NFL.
High school football.
Talking about high school local football. I'm sorry,
Anyways.
UNLV's hard to watch. I can't wait till they move into the new stadium to actually. I think that's going to help boost their credibility in the city. Nobody wants to go to the dump.
Do you
out
see an
there.
aviators effect? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Do you see that happening?
Yeah.
For UNLV?
Yeah,
So
we'll
you think
get
they're
more
gonna
white
pack it?
people from Summerlin coming. That's the aviators effect, right? Like build it in Summerlin, they will come.
Sure,
Yeah.
if you want to look at it that way, we can put it that way.
Also, be clear.
It's Cashman Field.
Summerlin people, we love you.
Going to that
Tough,
Samboy
man.
game, by about the middle of the second quarter, I was no longer sober. So there's that. Thank you for that.
You haven't been sober since I met you.
That's impossible.
That's impossible.
It's possible.
But yeah, the last time I went to a Rebel game, I think I went with Todd to like the Rebel game out here. They were playing Reno.
Nevada Wolfpack.
They were playing the Reno Wolves, and they lost.
So that wasn't last year then, because they beat
2
them
years
last
ago.
year. Okay, got it.
Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
3 years ago, because every other year.
Oh yeah, every other year.
So let's talk football, man. I know you want to get into
All right,
real
let's
football,
jump
not high school.
into
Do
the
it.
NFL. Todd, I know you got some fantasy stuff to talk about. Did I win?
You did not. We have a little league. Here.
Okay,
A
got
little
it.
league.
It's a
Little
lighthearted
baby.
league.
Got
Yeah.
a baby league. Okay,
Little Smurf league.
There's only 6 players, 6 teams,
okay.
and we only drafted about 6 players each.
What is it? A daily league or a
It's-
weekly?
no, we keep the same players all year, except for injuries, and we
Got
get one quarterback, one running back, one receiver, one tight end.
I want to trade my quarterback. though.
Did we get a defense? We got a defense, a kicker, and a coach.
Okay,
A
interesting.
coach.
A coach.
Hey.
Okay.
And I still
Jeez.
think we should get more points if you win as an underdog.
Not a bad idea.
That
They're
is
trying to
good.
work out the scoring.
I feel like by week 17 we'll have this all down.
It's only week 1.
And it's gonna make Todd go back and redo all.
It's
his
cr- it's
He's
pretty-
gonna
Have a
be so
champion
mad
by then
he
for
wasn't
sure.
with me from the beginning.
And then I'll end up winning.
Yeah. So there's 6 teams.
And we have one of our co-hosts on the show with us now via phone,
His mobile phone.
mobile.
Mobile
Dave,
cell phone.
what's up, Dave?
Man, I heard the NFL topic coming in. I don't want to get too deep into the depression topic because I live that one too.
Oh, that's a way to not get too deep.
Hey, hello to you too there.
Yeah.
You okay, Dave?
So I know that Todd is hard at work in his fantasy lab concocting roles for something that we've already started.
There's nothing's going to change. It's going to be consistent.
Todd's consistent.
It's pretty standard scoring.
Todd's really consistent. He's been on the show 4 times in the past 2 years.
Twice in the last
It's
week.
consistently not there.
You've
And he
been here
texted
2
you that
weeks
he
in a
was
row,
on his
Todd.
way for a 2-hour show.
It's true. He
I
was
mean, for 2 o'clock.
He's
Listen to
consistently
the
late.
guy who drafted Bill O'Brien as his coach talk about consistency.
Oh,
Well, you know,
that was weird.
I knew I
That's
should have
very
taken Peter. And by the way, Bill O'Brien should have won that game.
Yeah, seriously.
That's true too. Like I mean, normally he does do a lot of stuff wrong. He didn't do anything wrong that game except for that last play. That last play before the kick.
Yeah.
What are you guys preventing
was
here?
bad.
The Hail Mary? Like, get up on them. If they catch the ball and run, the time runs out.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that game is when
And-
there's 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and Kareem's like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and go. This game's over." And I listened to him for some reason, and we left the studio,
Now
and
it's-
we missed the end of
I
the game.
said it's not they're going to score a touchdown. By the time we got to the car, they'd scored
Touchdown.
They kicked the field goal and scored the touchdown, and
And
New
the
Orleans
Saints
was
came
setting up
back
for
and
the
already-
kick. Yeah, we missed all that in like a minute 40.
I was in San Diego this weekend for a friend's wedding, and we got to the airport early on Monday night, and I was watching the first half in the terminal, and then when we started to board, it was halftime. So I'm like, oh, it's great. As soon as we get to our seats, you know, the Southwest flight had Wi-Fi with the live TV, so I found the ESPN channel. I was watching the whole
Oh, that's
the
nice.
whole flight back. I missed a little bit of the third quarter, I think. So when the plane was, you know, we had to deboard. It was like that's when the Saints were down, and then they scored when the Texans were down, and they came back. So I missed that part. And I'm walking through the terminal, and everyone's in the little, you know, in Southwest, the little tequila bar there.
Nope.
And
I'll look for it now though.
yeah, the Tequilaria, I think it's called. they everyone was like cheering, and they were because the Saints were lining up for that field goal. So I missed like the big play.
big play, yeah.
So I haven't seen what happened, but I mean I know the outcome.
58 yarder,
You
though,
missed it
man.
for 72
58
hours?
They
yarder.
replayed it on ESPN. At
They
least
literally
once.
played the entire game. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
no, I
yeah,
didn't.
you can go on Facebook and they have an NFL game recap. Just saying.
They have that on
I
live.
can't. I don't like watching after it happened.
No,
but
I got
yeah,
you.
no,
You like
I
to
just
it
didn't
live,
see
for
that
sure.
last play. I'm like, oh, what happened? Like everyone was in the same boat. We're like getting off the plane and we missed it.
In
And
the
then-
same boat getting off a plane.
You know what I mean?
Wait. You don't like watching after it happens? So like you don't watch ESPN at all? Like,
He
you don't watch
closes,
any
he
recaps?
closes his
bit.
eyes during the replays.
No! Don't spoil it.
No, but then the time I
I had to record it at home.
got our stuff and got
Yeah.
home and picked up the kid, like it was
Yeah.
late, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it.
So you
I
went
didn't see
through all that
play.
to tell us you still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Thank you for
play.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Dave, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Just letting you guys roll. But I mean, listen, the man, he's a terrible coach. I don't know why I picked him. I just figured they were going to win their division and
You choked,
have
Dave.
enough
You
games to
choked.
be respectable. They lost to New Orleans at New Orleans on a 58-yard field goal.
Yeah.
I don't feel that as terrible about it as I could.
And New Orleans is most likely going to be in the NFC Championship again this year.
They're winning the Super Bowl.
Against-
Remember, that's my pick.
Oh, no, they're playing the 49ers, and the 49ers win the Super Bowl, so they have to win that
Oh,
game.
Okay, yeah.
But
Now you're all cut up. Thank you.
There we go. Got it.
Yeah.
49ers still have to realize they have a whole season to play, though.
yeah, 14-2. They're fine.
But going back to
Yeah,
the,
going back.
God.
going back to the fantasy, even if the Texans would have won and Bill O'Brien would have got the points for coach, Dave still would have been the fourth highest scoring team. So we have 6 teams, but instead of going head to head, just the 3 highest scoring teams get a win. The 3 lowest
Got
scoring
it.
teams don't get a win.
I
But
think the 3 lowest should get the win.
But you see how Dave should get extra points if they would have won for being a 7-point dog? I'm just saying.
I think that's a good idea, but
Because that's actual coaching, isn't it?
So since we're on the fantasy,
It does have something, and it eliminates the Belichick advantage.
Thank you. Wow,
Good
wow,
Lord.
Belichick. Wow, Belichick
Winning less
beat
than
the
13
Jets and
games.
Bills. Ooh, 10 points. Boo.
swish.
That's how I sound.
Kobe.
Noby.
So, question for you, fantasy wise, which player did? Because I'm pretty sure it happened to all of us. It happened
Salma
to me
Hayek.
in my in my league. I sat Deshaun Jackson this week. I drafted him thinking, hey, he's a good pocket player. Keep him in
Yeah,
the back
keep him-
pocket.
yeah.
He's gonna do good. I didn't think he was gonna go off. In my league, he gave me 58 points. So that was my blunder. What was your guys' blunder this week in week 1? Did you guys have a player that you didn't start that gave you points that would have been better than someone you did start?
Well, I'm only in our fantasy.
Oh, we don't do real fantasy.
Yeah,
Oh, I do.
I'm only in our fantasy league, so I'm not in any other fantasy
Got
league.
it,
So we
okay.
don't have like start or not.
So that would be Kareem.
But
I-
I did make a mistake of drafting Rodgers and
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, and
Oh wow.
yeah,
The Bears have a very tough defense. I mean, they have a terrible quarterback, but a tough defense.
yeah,
Mitch,
It's only week 1.
still not
Quan.
happy.
I could tell you what my biggest mistake was. My biggest mistake was
Getting here late.
No, that was cool.
Okay.
Hold on. God dang it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa,
Watch
I
the-
know.
watch
Wow,
the
did I say,
language
did I say
there.
Speak
dang
life.
in public?
Speak Life Radio.
Speak
Did I say
live
dang in
radio.
public? That's crazy. So I ended up going against. This was fun. I went against Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey.
Woo.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, it gets better.
Austin Eckler
Aye.
and the Niners defense week 1.
That one I can pass you, but how did you sit?
No, that's what I went
Christian-
against. That's what I went
Oh, that's
against.
what you went against.
That's what,
Okay,
so my only mistake was scheduling. That's it. And there was nothing I could do about
pretty
that.
much.
I
There was nothing I could do about that.
I'm in a 2 quarterback league, and I started Nick Foles, so that hurt.
Oh,
No, injury, but-
wow.
Ouch.
But now I don't have a second
Clap-
quarter.
Marcus
much
Clapper,
But now I don't
right?
have a second quarterback for the season.
Don't pick up
About
Darnold. I'll tell you
Minshew.
that much.
Get Minshew. Or did somebody take him already?
Hey,
Oh,
that
yeah.
kid, look out.
He looked really
Look out.
good.
The kid from Jacksonville.
He looked
Nobody knows him. There's no
really-
tape on him. So he could surprise people.
Yeah, I
Jacksonville-
talked about it. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, there's
On Monday, I
college
think
tape.
I might have talked about it. Foles had as many incompletions in 8 passes as he did in 25.
So that's a good look for
So-
Jacksonville. They'll
So,
be all right.
Like I was saying, I have Nick Foles, and he got hurt. So the one of the other teams picked up his backup. Was Gardner? What's his name?
Minshew.
Minshew.
Minshew or
Yeah.
whatever.
So someone picked up his
Minshew.
backup on waivers
Mincemeat.
and offered me a trade for him. I'm like, let's
savage.
yeah for
move.
Tariq Cohen, the running back for the Bears.
For the Bears, yeah.
So I'm
That's
contemplating it.
hilarious that they thought that you would take that.
Well,
Yeah.
he needs 2 quarterbacks though. He's gonna have to take something.
He
Yeah.
does need 2 quarterbacks, but it's not like he's going to trade him Tariq Cohen for Gardner Minshew.
Well, then I would just tell him no.
And I like
And
Minshew.
I'll tell him no and stick with your 0
I might
quarterbacks.
You know, as crazy as
counter
this sounds,
offer.
if Josh Allen is available, I would take him over Minshew.
He's not. There's no way he's.
I'm just saying, if he's available
Sure.
in your league, because in some leagues he is. People don't believe in Josh Allen.
Not this
I
league,
don't
but
have
yeah.
him,
You
but
could
I'm just
probably-
I don't. I'm a Bills fan.
You could probably still get Jameis.
I would not, bro. I would not get Jameis with your team.
But here's the
come
thing,
on,
though.
that-
He
no.
it's a 2 quarterback league. He has no choice. That means how many teams in the league? 12,
16.
6. Oh God.
I know.
Oh, you're in a
So
big
all
league.
32
Oh,
quarterbacks
You're
are gone.
stuck. Oh,
You're done.
He's like, oh, you're stuck.
That's why I'm saying he might have to make the Minshew trade.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Anyway, how the rest of our standings go?
All right, so Quan's team's called Make Brunch Great Again. He scored 63 points.
it never was great. Can't make it great again. If
Hey,
it
that's
never
what
was
we
great.
say.
Hey, I love brunch.
Come on,
Mimosas?
Dave. We're brunching over
Come
here.
on,
That's
mimosas.
what we say whenever they say the other thing.
You want to
Never
rate?
mind.
You want to rate these teams? All
Let's see.
right, so Quan's team
Well, I don't
has
agree with the
Quan's team's Aaron Rodgers, Ezekiel Elliott, Devontae Adams, George Kittle, Greg Zuerlein, the Rams defense, and Sean Payton.
George Kittle got 2 touchdowns taken. from
Okay.
him.
The only one that is
Kittle got 2 touchdowns.
Two
That's
touchdowns
good.
taken.
I like it.
All
Okay.
right, so they came in last place.
Well, hold
Oh,
on.
wow.
I also got robbed by Patrick Mahomes trying to no look a completion again
you
when
saw
Travis
that?
Kelce
Yeah.
was wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Our good friend Steve Huff, who's
That's gonna happen, guy. They're gonna miss open receivers sometimes.
Steve Huff's team came in 5th place this week, and his Baker
And he actually was in the
Wow.
studio and left right before
Yeah.
the show.
his team's Baker Mayfield,
Oh,
Todd
okay.
Gurley, Odell Beckham, Jared Cook, Will Lutz, the Saints kicker,
Yeah,
Ravens defense, and Bill Belichick.
you would know that if you watched the recap.
See, the one thing that I'm not a big fan of, and I never have been, is getting a quarterback and a receiver.
I don't like it either.
I
'Cause
get
one-
a receiver from another team.
one bad game and you lose both of 'em.
Exactly.
And that's why I want to trade my quarterback, which he said I can only trade him if he's hurt. But
You can only drop him
if he's 48 years old, he's hurt.
I guess we can make
That's how I
it.
feel.
If
He's not-
someone wants to trade, you can. I guess. I don't know.
Wait, you want
Well,
you
no,
want to
you
get rid
can't
of the
labor
best
with
quarterback in the NFL?
Hey,
I think he's going to have a bad year. I
he
just have a
doesn't have
feeling
Jimmy
that.
Garoppolo.
Yeah, I don't have Jimmy G. I'm trying to get Jimmy G.
And then
Oh my lord.
Yes,
G's gonna have
please.
another
He is
injury.
your
Did you just
Lord.
say,
No, you
"Oh
know
my
what?
Jimmy"?
He is your
Oh my
Lord.
Oh my Jimmy Jesus.
Oh my Jimmy Jesus.
Honestly,
Are you talking to us or are you praying to Jimmy G right now?
Listen, you better not
I
say.
just want to say, if you
don't
want to
say our
drop your
quarterback's name in
quarterback for
vain.
Jimmy G, you should be allowed to.
Yeah.
Because that's
All right,
stupid.
watch what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
in 4th place is Dave's team, and his team's name is the Tariq Hill Daycare Center.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill Daycare Center. Wow.
He has Matt Ryan, Alvin Kamara, Julio Jones, Travis Kelsey, the tight end for the Chiefs, excuse me, Justin Tucker, Buffalo's defense, and Bill O'Brien.
Okay.
Woof. You got real sour there at the end.
Buffalo's
In third
defense.
place is Josh, the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. Is it okay to say that?
You said it.
Josh-
not us.
Josh had enough
Racist.
points.
You know what they said in the last show?
Josh had enough points to get a W. His team is Tom Brady, Saquon Barkley, Thomas, the wide receiver for the Saints, Michael Thomas, right?
Michael Jackson.
Vance McDonald,
Woof.
Gutkowski, the
Kicker.
kicker, Redskins D, and Andy Reid.
Okay.
All right, he came in third. Kareem, Black QBs Matter, is his team
Whoa,
name.
all QBs matter.
Oh, you would.
Why?
Do you want to say? Do you want to say your team?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I do not recall.
That's just
Yeah, you do.
Deshaun Watson, McCaffrey, Tariq Hill,
Oh.
Zach Ertz, Robbie Gold, Jacksonville's defense, and Doug Peterson.
Wait, did
Hold
you
on.
pick up
Coach
somebody for
Peterson.
Tyreek?
Hold on though. Now remember. Now here's you got to tell them the full story. Now we're allowed to make ad drops
On injuries.
if on injuries.
Tell me who you want right
so
now.
of course at the time I said great.
Hey.
Right then Antonio Brown goes to the Patriots and I'm like I'm gonna pick up Antonio Brown. An hour later, Antonio Brown sexual assault case. I'm like no.
Wow.
Well, if you don't want Antonio Brown,
Let me check and see.
Well, he
who's-
practiced.
but we got
with
to
them.
play.
You got
practiced,
by the end of
but
this
is he gonna
show.
play?
He's
You got to
gonna
tell us
play.
by the end of the show because the games are starting soon.
Oh, And we need to make
Well, I can
that
tell
pick
you,
before
I'm
that
not.
starts.
Oh wait, I might take somebody from this game tonight. Ew.
Then tell me who it is.
Hold on, I'll give you. We got to the end of the
All
show. All right.
And then my team scored the most. Just because I'm scoring it, I'm not the banker in Monopoly.
Wow.
My team's legit.
Of course, he
This
scored
week-
the most with his new rules.
Patrick Mahomes, Le'Veon Bell, Hopkins, Evan Ingram, Matt Prater, Chicago Bears defense, and Sean McVay. So all
See,
scored
I like that team. I like that team.
A lot of points this week.
I like that team.
Kareem's top two guys had the most points.
Yeah. The only stop me from being
Watson
first
and
place.
McCaffrey.
I had Tariq Hill and I had Jacksonville defense. So
Yeah, if you, I mean,
if I just got 0 out of Jacksonville's defense instead of the negative,
Yeah.
I might have been in first place.
which is crazy because some guys like Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson aren't even in our league, and they would have scored the most.
They would have scored the
points.
most. Yeah.
So there you have it. So our unnamed fantasy football league after week 1. So we're gonna go 14 weeks. Sorry, and then
We'll tell you the winner
It's like The
in the
Walking
year.
Dead.
it's like Walking Dead.
2033, we will announce the
We'll let you
winner.
know who
It's like The
wins then.
Simpsons.
Survivor.
Stay tuned.
So we go 14 weeks, and whoever has the best records, the 4 top teams move on from the 6. And then I'm going to seed them based on their records and how many points they scored, like
Nice.
college football.
Wow.
And then it would be head-to-head for the last. So it'll be 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And then the championship game will be week 16.
Did we talk about
See,
what
that's
the
how
winner
I
gets?
do it. I end at 14, and then 15 to 16 are the
Yeah, and
playoffs.
17,
Yeah,
yeah.
because 17 you
17,
don't
nobody
know,
cares,
man. Yeah.
And especially with this stacked lineup, like I could see half of these guys not playing week 17.
Have we talked about what we get? I think we did, but I don't remember what happens if we win.
You win, I take you to brunch.
Why is it only you though?
I mean, we can.
Should be everybody taking the winner to brunch.
Okay.
Or at least
What?
everybody in the playoffs, or maybe the bottom 2.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The bottom 2 have to pay for brunch.
Listen, if I win, I don't want to go to no brunch.
Dave, we
Dave,
are
you're in the
getting
league.
Dave to brunch.
We're just not gonna call it brunch.
We'll call it breakfast
We're gonna call
in
it
the afternoon
we're gonna
with
call it
lunch.
breakfast in the
late
afternoon.
breakfast, early lunch.
And just for sure, we'll call it brunch.
Well, I will too.
All right, moving on.
Call it drinks, and you got me.
Call it drinks.
Okay.
You don't get to change the rules of the league, Dave.
So that's week 1. I have the spreadsheet set up if you guys want to see it. Still work in progress, but pretty standard scoring. You get points for yards and touchdowns, not for receptions or completions or attempts or anything like that. Defense, you
Ooh.
get
What? This ain't a PPR?
no,
Oh, yikes!
too hard.
Too hard.
Yeah.
You add points for the receptions.
I know it's just too much math.
All right, well, let's go for some week 2.
What?
Okay, stop. Let's go for some week 2 NFL picks. We got a game tonight starting in about an hour. We got Tampa Bay at Carolina. 2 teams that lost this week, both 0-1.
Thank
Thursday
God I
night,
never watched Thursday night games.
and I don't watch a lot. I might watch tonight. We'll see what's up. But
I always have fantasy players
That's
that are
gross.
so
Dave, who you got in this game of 2 teams that didn't do too well in week 1?
Well, I think Carolina's going to be a little gassed out, but Tampa looks terrible. As long as Jameis is their starter. What's the spread on this one? Or are we not
William
thinking spread?
and Hill has them at 7 right now.
Ooh, I would take Carolina outright, but I would say Tampa's defense looks pretty solid. So I'd take Tampa with the points.
especially playing
So
against
Carolina
that
to
heavenly
win.
quarterback they played against.
And I think Tampa actually played really well last week. They just played against a superior defense. Who'd they play?
Oh my lord!
They just played against.
The 49ers.
They just played
I
against a
think.
tank. They just kept getting in
kinda
front of
hard.
the
That-
tank.
Come on, though. It's easy when your quarterback throws these balls directly to some of these guys, though.
Listen, there's
Some of
only
these
so much
defenders,
Jameis
come on.
slander I'm going to take, all right? Only so much Jameis slander I can take and stay quiet about.
So, wait, you're a Bucks fan?
I'm a Florida State fan.
Ah,
I'm a Niners fan, but I'm a Florida State fan.
God. Famous crab leg
I mean-
Jameis.
Listen, slander.
All right,
Slander.
Jose, who you got in this game?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Jameis fan, but I kind of agree with what's his name on the phone? I'm sorry,
Dave. Death Star Dave.
I kind of agree
Death
with
Star
Dave.
Dave.
I think Carolina's going to be gassed. Not only that, I go off of numbers and money and all that.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm an expert or nothing, but I used to work in a sports book. So when I worked in the
Yeah.
book, I saw how money and how books need certain games and this and that. If I'm going based off of the money, I'm taking Tampa, especially because it's 7. Now, if it's minus 6.5, I'm not even touching the game.
Exactly what I was
But
gonna say.
betting wise, yes. If I'm gonna give you guys my pick today, I'm taking Tampa plus the 7.
All right, Todd.
I like Carolina.
Quick.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a
great.
good point. I was gonna say the same exact thing Jose said. I like Carolina to win the game. If I was betting it 6.5, I wouldn't touch it. At plus 7, I would definitely take Tampa. It's a division game. They're a desperate team. I could see a backdoor cover over under 48 and a half for William Hill. I would absolutely take the under in that game. That's it.
I got Carolina by 10 at home.
Ooh. Okay.
Book it. Hashtag Quanstradamus. Check it. He's right every time. All right. Don't shut up. All right. Let's move on to some Sunday morning games.
Yeah.
We have the mighty Miami Dolphins hosting the New England Patriots. If you think they got blown out last week, this game might be horrendous. Now the players don't even want to be there.
It'd be close.
Some of them thought they wanted to be there last week until they realized after the game, like, hey, we don't want to be here. But I think the team's tanking. Like, how come you guys didn't know that beforehand when we all knew that before the game?
There was a ridiculous number of like 20 or some players came out. Supposedly they hit up their agents saying, I want out. Like that. That's crazy, man. That's not a good look for Miami.
I'm sorry. This franchise is. Go ahead, Dave. I turned you down because
aren't they the same players that made that happen?
I mean, they are.
Hey, but you also got to look at the coaching staff, though.
I didn't mean made it happen.
Well, they
just started. The players are trash. It's not. I don't think that's Brian Flores' fault.
It's not Brian Flores' fault. But I remember right when they were getting ready to do the Laramie Tunsil trade, there was a story that said if they actually do this trade, there's going to be a mutiny on this team. I don't think it's about the score. I don't think it's about how they played. I think it's about they don't think the team cares or is even trying to win. And I don't know what their substitutions are or who giving the most plays to. I haven't looked at all that. I think it's more about that than it is just the team is bad. Players can deal
and
with
if you're a
teams being
Miami
bad.
fan base, you're only going to watch the other team. You're only going to watch Tom Brady play.
Well,
I can't even
you probably
imagine.
get tickets for $12. Probably there
or
too.
$5, yeah.
But see, at this point, though, I mean, does that mean that Baltimore's this good or is Miami's just that bad?
Oh, definitely
Like,
Miami's that bad.
I think Baltimore is going to be very improved. They're going to be really good, and they're going to contend for that division. But they're not 59-10. I'm not sure they're 30-10.
Nobody in the NFL is.
They shouldn't be
At all. That was a college score.
It shouldn't be.
So if you're Miami,
Not
what
a
do you
Michigan
do?
score because they've been.
If you're Miami, what do you honestly do here? Because you know damn well Fitzmagic is not the answer here. The guy's been on 9-10 different teams.
And Rosen did get some playing time,
A
right?
little bit towards the end of the game.
Yeah, when it was
but
52-10.
You gotta try to bring back some type of magic or spark. Call me crazy, maybe that wildcat option or whatever the hell it was that you beat New England with a few years ago. But you got to do something.
I mean,
different
they
in this
need
game.
to bring. They need to
game.
bring Dwayne Wade back.
You're
They
saying
need to
that
bring Dwayne
like
Wade.
Miami actually wants to have a spark and actually wants to win, and I don't think they do.
But see, that's what I'm saying. In order for them
At
to
all.
show, they have to show it on Sunday. If not, it's like what Quan said. They're tanking.
That's
gonna
because
prove
they're
that.
tanking. They're
Yeah,
absolutely
they
tanking.
traded everybody.
I think Flores knew that going in.
Yeah.
And it's also really funny how they have no problem finding minority coaches when it's time to tank. Just throwing that out there.
Oh,
Here we go.
They're easy to find then, but whatever.
All right, Todd, who you got in this game?
I won't bet against the Patriots here.
It's good.
Oh, I didn't even give you.
Yeah.
What is it?
We were
Jose?
totally out of order.
I didn't even. Think
And we're
about
getting all these from William Hill, right? All the
that.
lines.
You want to? Yeah.
Yeah, we
okay.
can do. Yes,
Yeah.
it works.
So if you're looking at that game right now, we have the game at Patriots minus 19.5.
Oh man.
The one thing I'll tell you, I don't get scared of high spreads because if you do, you should not be betting.
Yeah.
Literally, if you take the points on a high game like this all the time, you should not be betting because you're not gonna make money.
Nope.
But with that being said, I'm not gonna bet this game. I'll stay away from it. But if I'm gonna take a pick with you guys, I'm not gonna take either side. I would probably take the under at 49, 48.5. That's
Okay.
what I'm taking.
And we all agree New England's winning this game. So
Oh, winning outright? Yes,
Oh,
they're
of
gonna win
course.
the game.
If I was to bet, I would take the chance on the plus 19.5. I mean, I'd like to think that New England's not exactly going to come out and run their flea flickers.
yeah.
They're probably going to be as vanilla as possible because they know they're going to win this
Dink and
game.
dunk.
And yeah, just dink and dunk. Let's just get at let's get to the fourth quarter. Let's get to 30. Let's get to 30-10, and let's hit everybody. And then maybe Fitzpatrick is good for a backdoor. Whoa, backdoor cover.
On a 19. On a
That's what
18.
she said.
If I was betting the game, which I won't, I'm not touching that. I'm not getting in front of that train like Tampa Bay did last Sunday. But I would take the plus 19.5. But obviously, New England would be my pick.
Yeah. All right. And Dave, you already picked or no?
No, but I would actually, if I was betting it, I would actually give the point and pick New England because I think that they worry about Miami because they lose there all the time.
Exactly.
So I would say that.
Yeah.
Well, then why do they lose there all the time if they're worried about them?
No, but I mean, I think this team they see that 8-0 because their 8-0 is real easy.
Yeah. All right. I got New England. Next game, Arizona, who has not won and has not lost yet this year, going into Baltimore, who dominated Miami, like we just said. What's the line on this game, Jose?
It's Baltimore -3, over and under is 46.5.
13.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say -3.
Take
that.
I looked at the three. I was like, wait a minute. I'm sorry. -13, over and under 46.5.
Wow.
Yikes.
I was about to leave and put all my money down.
Go refinance.
The second
your
he
house,
said
that's
that,
all
it
it
was
is.
going to be off of every single board in
real.
Nevada.
-13. That makes it a little bit different.
Yeah.
I still would take them. I got Baltimore in that.
All right. I'll give you my pick. I like the Cardinals. I like the way that Tyler Murray ended the second half of that game. And he played really, really good. It looks
Who'd
like
they play? Detroit?
Yeah.
Detroit's a good defense.
But Detroit gives up a lot of games at the
They just
end,
have a
too.
terrible coach.
But I would take the 13.
we'll get to
I
that.
like the
Franchise.
Cardinals. I don't see them winning. I could see a cover, especially a backdoor cover in this.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, I think Miami's just that bad. Not taking anything away from Baltimore. They're really
exactly.
good. But I think the Cardinals can come in here and at least cover that 13. So I'm taking Arizona.
In Baltimore, though. Todd.
I like the Ravens. I think things were clicking last week, whether it was against a really bad team or not. Like I feel like they have a little momentum. It's a home game. Cardinals don't scare them, I don't think. So Baltimore.
All right. Kareem.
Betting wise, the only thing I'd be afraid of is a backdoor. I think this is a worst matchup possible for Arizona. I would take the number. I would probably take. God, I don't know. I might take a chance on -13 only because I think that secondary Baltimore is really good. And if you're spreading out the field like Arizona wants to, going against a team with a secondary like Baltimore is the worst matchup for you. It's the first road game for Kyler Murray. So you know what? I would honestly take the chance and take the -13 at Baltimore.
All right. There you go, Dave. Where did you get his?
I never take
I would go Baltimore to win, but I don't think they'll cover. I think it'll be an easy win, like an easy 10-point win. But Kyler with the backdoor cover.
All right. There you go. Next game we have.
What you got,
Let's see.
Quan?
Who do
Let
we
me know.
have? Let me see.
I think I'm gonna amend my last one. I think I'm taking Arizona.
All right, thanks. We will go Detroit, who has not lost or won a game this year, hosting the Chargers, formerly of San Diego. Dave, who you got in this one?
You don't want the total.
Oh, he's
spread
pulling up the
is
spread.
on.
My bad.
No,
Go
you
ahead,
good.
Jose.
So Chargers -2.5 on the road, over and under 47.5.
Easy Chargers.
All right.
I think
Yeah.
Detroit is trash, and that was a loss for them last week.
It was a
Might have
tie.
been a tie, but it was a win for the Cardinals and a loss for the Lions.
They did blow it. I got Chargers also. Todd.
Yeah, Chargers. I think they just have more talent, and I mean they can go on the road and win. As Dave likes to say, every Chargers game's a road game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
going to Detroit doesn't scare them.
All right, Kareem.
Oh my! I am all. I told myself I'd never bet on this team ever again after last week, but I am all over Detroit on this one.
You're all over Detroit. Why? Because you
all
spoke
over.
to Chris Wynn or what?
No, I'm not listening to him. I'm not listening to him about Detroit games. It's a 10 a.m. game, which is always rough for West Coast teams going to the East. I dispute the fact that they have more talent right now because Derwin James is out. Hunter Henry just got hurt. Mike Williams is hurt. I don't know who they're going to throw to other than Keenan Allen if Mike Williams doesn't play. Travis Benjamin, maybe. I don't know. And I think that defense for Detroit at home, desperate team.
Switch.
It's going to be loud. I think they get a pick 6 out of it. I think Detroit's defense scores just as many touchdowns as San Diego's does, and I'll take Detroit.
Call me crazy, but I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Lions.
Crazy.
I really do. I'll take the 2.5. I'm gonna call it that. Matthew Stafford miraculously is gonna bring this team back, and they're gonna win by a field goal at the end of the game.
I pray it gets a 3. If it gets a 3, it's just good. I'm just take my money.
Is he good enough to overcome his coach?
Nobody's good enough to overcome a coach that bad. Bill Belichick wasn't good enough to overcome that coach.
Todd, who you got? Did we already ask you, Todd?
Yes.
Okay.
You went with the Chargers, right?
He gave really deep analysis to it.
All right, who you got next, Quan?
All right, next game we got 2 undefeated teams. Green Bay hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's gonna be a tough game.
What kind of line we got on that?
So we got Packers -3, over and unders 44.
Ooh.
And it's even money on the -3, so you know what that means. They don't want to pull off of that number.
Yeah.
They're sticking to it. So who you got, Quan? Let's start off with
I got
you.
Packers and the over, actually, in that game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My analysis is Aaron Rodgers.
I just saw it. I just saw C-Win's pick. Now I want to switch.
C-Win special. If you
Just
know
on
him,
the
that guy
C-Win
loses a
special.
lot.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
All right, who you got, Dave?
Uh-oh.
I think we lost Dave.
I'm going to take the Packers at home.
Call back if you're there.
I think they had a few extra days because they played that last Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And division game, they have home field, home opener in
Home
Lambeau.
Yeah.
I feel like the crowd's going to be fired up.
Cheeseheads will be alive.
And I don't have too much faith in the Vikings quarterback.
Whoa.
So
Thank you for that.
Surprise.
Hey,
that's for Josh.
Hey, young Jeezy over there with the ad-libs.
Whoa.
I don't like
I'm gonna ad-libs
Hey.
everyone's picks.
I like
Dave,
it. Oh,
who you got
hey.
Green Bay in Minnesota?
I'm actually going to take Minnesota because I think the return of a healthy Dalvin Cook. I love Dalvin Cook coming out of Florida State as much as I hated Jameis. So that's a lot. And I think Green Bay has a good defense, but man, they got a lot of weapons there, and Cook opens up everything.
All right. Jose,
So-
can you see?
Sometimes if I have my glasses on.
Yeah.
Now, this is one
I'm
of
sure
the
you've never heard that before either.
Oh,
Never in his
yeah,
life.
never in my life have I heard that one. But yeah, this is a game that I was actually looking at money-wise. Everybody and their mom is betting Minnesota for some reason.
Wait, my mom bet
It's
Green
crazy.
Bay, actually.
Oh, she did? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll call her up later and find out why she bet Green Bay.
Oh.
But this is a game, no disrespect, but honestly,
Well, she's watching, so you can ask
okay.
her.
So Megan, you just told her. Never mind.
no, but honestly, I like the Packers. I think -3 at home is a good number. If Minnesota was at home, I would probably flip it and go the other way, and I would take Minnesota here.
Okay.
But I like the Packers. I'll take the Packers -3.
All right.
Simple.
That's funny. I have the same exact logic as him, but I like the opposite pick. I think the game's going to be close, so that's why I'll take the underdog. That's +3. Aaron Rodgers usually struggles in Minnesota, and that was when he had the same offense for 12 years.
Yeah.
It's a new coach, so I'll take the chance on the +3. That way, if Green Bay wins by a field goal, I don't lose.
Get a push. There you go.
All right, Todd, who you got?
I told you already.
Yes.
Yep. I just wanted to see if you were going to change your mind.
All right.
My bad. I forgot to ad-lib everyone else's picks.
Hey.
Hey. Whoa. All right, next game. Houston Texans hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars with the new quarterback. Foles is out. What's the line on this?
On that one, Houston and Jacksonville. Let's see.
I think the last I saw was minus.
So it's
9.
-9 for the Texans. Over and unders 43.5.
Say that one more time. I was not listening to you.
-9 on the
Minus 9.
Texans. Over and unders 43.5.
This is a tough spot, I think, for both teams, right? You lose your starting quarterback, you have
Yeah.
a backup starting. The other one, you lose a dramatic late game, a short week. This is a tough one. I don't know if the Texans are going to continue to let down, or they're going to be so pissed off that they lost that first opener that they're going to come out and like just get after this young quarterback who's first start, right?
It's at home.
Yeah. So
In Houston.
I think I like the Texans.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Texans, too, because they are at home. They have a week to really look at the Jags quarterback. So when you go into the game, and we were game planning against Foles the whole time, they didn't get to look at Minshew and see what they were going to do. So he came in and had a great game against them. I'm not sure if that's why or not, but Houston's going to be able to look at the film all week, and I doubt he'll have that good of a game, or not. He's not going to do as good as he did in the last game. That's my take on it. But I got Houston.
I agree with you. I like Houston. I still think he'll have a good game because they don't have enough film on him. But I do agree with you. Him going on the road, being a rookie quarterback, your first start ever in your career.
Now you know you're
tough.
starting.
Exactly. Now you know it's
not
your
just
job.
I got put in the game. I didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah, I wasn't just in here. I'm going to hype it up. Let's go. No, now you have to be ready. You have to be prepared. This is your job. This is your stage. What are you going to do with it? If they were in Jacksonville, I can see a 9-point cover and them still losing the game. But being on the road with Houston, even though they have a short week, they played a great game against New Orleans. I can honestly see them covering this 9, so I'll take Houston minus the 9.
All right. Great.
Yeah, I also think Minshew will probably play decent enough, but you're going against Romeo Crennel as a rookie and going against J.J. Watt as a rookie. I can see him making some mistakes, turnovers that helps Houston get the cover. But if I were to bet this, the only thing I would take would be the over 43.5. I think Houston's going to be in shootouts.
I agree with
year.
Kareem. I like the over.
They've lost so many defensive players in the last couple of years that I think that, and we saw it Monday. I mean, they were up 21-10, 24-10, something like that before New Orleans made their comeback. There are going to be a lot of shootouts, and that's right up Deshaun Watson's alley.
Yeah. Dave, you there?
I am.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Who you got?
No, I listen until it's my turn. That's all.
No, that's good.
Different than when I'm in studio.
Well, it is.
We appreciate you, Dave.
No, I actually kind of like the Texans big in this one. And I do kind of like Minshew, but I think that the Jags were expecting Foles to lead them somewhere, and I don't know that they have that kind of belief in the rookie.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we get everybody on that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Todd?
Yeah.
Yo.
I started.
All right, next game. I was going to save them for last of the morning games, but I'm going to go ahead and go to them. The 0-1, or the 1-0, the undefeated future Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers going in to Cincinnati to play the horrible Bengals.
You didn't say what year.
This year, 2020.
That was my out.
All right.
What's the line on this, Jose?
I was just waiting for you. So the over. All right. So the Bengals are favored by 1.5 at home. Over and under is 45.5. I'll tell you straight right here. I'm taking the Bengals minus 1.5. That's it. Next.
All right, Todd.
I have no explanation why.
I wouldn't touch this game from a betting perspective. I just don't like it. Kind of makes me nervous. I think the Niners can win on the road. I hate saying it.
Wow.
I mean,
it's
these
true.
guys
Why do
are.
you hate
These
saying
guys.
it?
Look at the
Why?
smile on Quan.
Why do you hate saying
Both
things
of
that
them.
are
Why would
true?
you hate saying that?
Why would you hate saying things that are true? That's like, hey,
I think they're better.
hey, it's a
the
nice
truth.
day outside. Boo.
I think
no,
they're better.
why would you hate
I
saying
think they're
things that
better
are accurate?
in front of you. That's why I don't want to admit it in
Oh, we
front
should
of
have
you.
opened up with that.
I just don't think the Bengals are very good, and I
And
think
the Niners are great.
I don't think they're great, but I think they're better.
So for
Than
the
the
show,
Bengals.
Better than
what would you
great?
pick?
I think they
I'm
might
going to
be
go with
better than great
Niners.
too.
Niners get a road win.
There you go.
Okay. Dave, we'll go ahead and get your pick before we get me and Cream's pick.
I thought the Bengals looked better than I thought they were going to last week. However, I still think they're garbage, and I think maybe Seattle's just not that good. So I hate to say this, but I will be taking the 49ers.
Wow.
Wait, say that again? What'd you say? I think your phone cut out.
I said I will be taking the 49ers to San Francisco.
Hold on.
You
I
really
think you
said
have a
it
bad
again.
connection issue.
You really
Say that
said it
one more
again.
time.
The 49ers to San Francisco is who I will be taking.
Oh, man, I can't wait to
All right. Who do you guys
make
got
that
then?
a drop. Let me see. I got the 49ers winning the Super Bowl
All right.
and this game.
Does that
They're
mean
going
they're 16?
16-0. You didn't hear the
No,
show a couple
14-2. 14-2.
14-2. That was the opening.
They'll
Yeah.
be sitting their stars last 2
Oh,
weeks.
sorry.
Yeah.
The Lakers are going 82-0. I'm sorry.
That's what
My
it
bad.
is. Yeah.
No, they're sitting their starters.
Oh,
apparently.
Lord.
No, they'll go 81-1.
81-1. They'll give one game to Golden State. All right. Yeah, I got them. I got the over on this game. Jimmy G's going to have probably 3 or 4 touchdowns. Defense will have 2 more touchdowns. And they'll win the Super Bowl. All right. Next game.
Wait,
Kareem, did we get you?
No, we have not.
Okay.
I tell you what.
I just figured he had the same analysis as
I
me.
mean, I don't know, man. One rule that has always made me money when betting football is whenever everyone's up on the Bengals, bet against the Bengals. When everyone's down on the Bengals, bet the Bengals. That's just the way they are. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They looked good last week.
Heckle and Jide.
Heckle and Jide. That's how inconsistent they are.
They're
Heckle and Jide.
Heckle and Jide. That's like the Jekyll and Hyde version of Jekyll and Hyde. Heckle and Jive.
Of Jive. Anyway, what's the problem?
Go ahead. Hey.
Again, they looked good last week. Cincinnati better than I thought they would. I don't know if that, again, same thing as Dave said. I don't know if that means that Seattle is just not that good. I can tell you that some of those throws that Dalton got away with, now that there's no Earl Thomas back there in Seattle, the way that the Niners defense looked last week, I guess if there's anything, I would take the under in this game. If I was betting it, of course, I'm going to take the Niners to win, but I'm not saying it confidently. But that's my hope.
So I'm the only one that took the Bengals.
I got Niners 42-10.
Listen, me saying that I'm not touching this game is kind of
Quan's pretty confident over there.
If this wasn't the Niners, I would be betting Cincinnati this week.
All right.
Let's put it that way. But not touching it.
Todd, did you already? Oh, yeah, you did.
I
Say
did.
it again.
San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Next.
All right, next game we have, and we got to go through these next games kind of quick.
Right.
We have the Buffalo Bills. This is Todd versus Dave. New York Giants hosting the Buffalo Bills in a horrible game that I won't be watching. I hope they don't even show it on Red Zone. But
I hope they do.
Do you? All right.
Well, they'd have to be in the red zone first.
There, Todd.
They have to be in the red zone first, so I don't know if that's
I'm not sure if you'll be
unless every other game ever is at halftime.
True.
So
all
for
right,
that
Jose,
game,
what we got?
Low spread. Bills on the road are favored -1.5. Over and under sits at 44.
44.
I think this is actually going to be a close game. 1.5, you said? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I could see.
You want to go last since it's your team?
No, I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Dave will go last.
You asked him twice anyway, so
Yeah.
We'll talk to you last again.
Giants did not look good last week in Dallas. I think the opening drive was really good the first quarter, but they did not put any pressure on Dallas at all. They made them Cowboys look like Super Bowl champs.
There was a meme saying Daniel Jones looks exactly like Mose from The Office, and he does.
I don't watch The Office, so I don't know that.
Wait, what?
Huh?
So
next, he's out.
Wow.
I think the Giants. I don't know if Buffalo's going to perform on the road as well. I mean, they beat the Jets. I'm not going to. This is not a game where I bet against my team. I think this is a winnable game for the Giants.
All right. Jose.
I'm with him. I'll take the Giants. Give me the Giants plus 1.5. If they were on the road again, week 2, I would say no way.
I agree. If it was in Buffalo, I would
exactly. And not only that, Buffalo's not the greatest either. Even though yes, they did come back and beat the Jets, but it's still Buffalo. So I take the Giants at home -1 plus 1.5.
Wow. I'm taking the Giants also because Kareem.
Well, normally what I would do, I would look at a game like this and I would say to myself, how has Buffalo earned being a road favorite? Like, you would never take teams that are that bad to be, that are seen to be that bad as road favorites this early. And normally I would take the Giants. However, I kind of like what I saw out of Josh Allen last week. And I feel like if they're going to keep starting Eli, New York's going to be staying level while Buffalo's ascending, and that defense is really, really good. And as long as Sean McVay leaves the quarterback's position alone, he's actually a decent coach. So I'm going to take Buffalo.
Eli didn't play bad last game. It's their defense was
but that's
really
not
tough.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's not whether he's good or bad. I'm saying I don't see him playing better anytime soon. Eli is who he is at this point. Now I could see Josh Allen playing worse. That could happen.
Yeah.
Also,
fair.
But I'm just going to roll with him right now after the last 2 quarters he played, and maybe the hot streak's still going, and I'll take Buffalo.
Sorry, I had to burp. Dave.
Bills easily.
Oh,
Eli
God,
Manning
I'm
against
out.
that defense.
I'm off.
Easily.
Come on. Easily. The Giants are terrible. They made Dak Prescott look like a good passer.
Dak Prescott
Easy.
can throw the ball.
He looks improved.
Dak Prescott can throw the ball. It's just
Their line gave him.
It's just
they
how
had
long
no
it takes them
pressure.
to throw the ball is the problem.
And the Giants gave no pressure at all. It was their offensive line. Dallas's offensive line just did so well. Couldn't do
Dude,
anything.
Eli is going to give the Bills the ball multiple times.
There's that part. That's what I can see happening. I don't like a Bills fan being this confident on the road, though.
Yeah, that was
That is like automatic. Stay away.
And Dave's
you know
usually
what?
not
You
a
know I
homer
don't
like
think they're-
that.
And you're never exactly.
you
That's the
know-
thing.
no.
You're never. So that's another thing. That maybe I won't come off this game because usually I could count on Dave being very pessimistic in this spot.
Dave hates the Bills when a lot of us like them. So
Well, but
That's hard.
here's my thing. I just think that the Giants are really bad. Like, really bad.
Well, really bad teams don't
That's
always go
all.
0-16.
They don't.
They got to win. They got to win some game.
and that's why I think this is the game they will win.
All right, next game.
All right.
Okay, keep thinking that.
I will, Dave.
Thanks for the permission, Dave. I took the Bills, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I got the Giants. All right. Pittsburgh 0-1 played horrible. Listen, I don't know if any of us really picked Steelers to win that game
We
on
didn't.
Sunday night, but I did not pick them to lose like that.
I had to think
they
they
got
scored 3.
destroyed. Roethlisberger looked horrible. So they have Seattle coming into Pittsburgh, another team that I hope loses every game ever for the rest of their lives. But I am actually taking Seattle up, going into Pittsburgh and beating them at home. What numbers we got on that?
Steelers are -4, over and under is 47.
I don't know about the over under. I might take the under on that, but I got Seattle.
I'm also gonna take. I'm gonna take the Steelers.
So not also.
I know the. Excuse me. Oh
no,
no.
that was the
sorry.
opposite of also.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers. I just think Patriots made them look super bad, and
They did.
Like Jonah Hill.
yeah, I love that movie. And I think they get it right this week, and I think Seattle is not going to go in there and get a win. I didn't see too much from Seattle last week, so I don't think early game. No, I don't think so.
All right, Jose, who you got?
I'll take the Steelers -4. I mean, you play the Patriots on the road to open the season. It's going to be a tough game regardless. Not only that, you lost Antonio Brown. You're trying to figure everything else out offensively. I still like the Steelers at home. If this game was on the road, again, I would take Seattle, but I like the Steelers -4.
And listen, I hope Seattle loses, so I don't care. If I'm wrong about this game, good.
This is one you want to be wrong
Oh,
about.
yeah.
I think this is a get well game. I think Steelers just dog walk them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 10 a.m. game. On the road, on grass, an 0-1 team. I think Steelers come out and just blow the doors off of them.
All right.
And they're going to do that same run the ball every single time thing that they've been trying out the last 8 games they played. Talking about Seattle going back to last year. That's one thing that New England couldn't do last week was run the ball. They're going to stop that early, and they're going to have that same free safety that played against the Bengals last week. Well, I think it's going to get ugly real quick.
All right, Dave, who you got?
I think that the Steelers are just owned by Tom Brady. I don't know that they're as bad as they showed in that game. I'm going to take Steelers in this case.
Owned by Belichick.
All right. All right, next game we have. There's a lot of morning games.
Yeah. So there's 3 afternoon games.
Wow.
What a waste.
That's going to be a boring red zone. We have Tennessee hosting the Indianapolis Colts.
The Jacoby Brissett coach.
Hey, I like Brissett. What's the line on this?
-3, and it's -3, -120, so that tells you too. Over and under is 44. Tennessee's favorite.
I think the Tennessee Titans are going 2-0.
I'll make it quick. I agree with Todd. I like Tennessee -3.
I'll make it quicker. I agree with both of them. Also.
Yeah, I think Tennessee will win the game, but I'm still really high on Brissett. And they should have won last week if Vinatieri was actually Vinatieri.
Let's talk about that. Talk
Yeah.
about people need to retire.
Did you guys see the meme that came out?
No.
So it had a picture of Anna Vinatieri, and they're like, yeah, somebody told Anna Vinatieri that Andrew Luck had retired. He came back and said, oh, you can retire?
That's funny.
You know what? I'm taking the Colts.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
I'm taking
There
it
you
Because
go.
of a meme.
no.
Dave, who you got?
Kameen Muller.
Tennessee looked really, really good last week. So maybe the Browns are just super overrated, but I'm going to take Tennessee in their home opener.
Yeah. I feel like that this is an easy game, to be honest.
But those are the scarier ones, because the ones that seem
It's
easy
true.
and they're flipping on you.
Colts are taking it. Colts are taking it.
You want to bet?
Brunch?
Brunch.
I'm not that confident.
All right, next game. I hate the NFC East. The Washington football team hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Two teams that are just garbage, just ugly uniforms, ugly cities, ugly
Stupid
players,
rivalry.
stupid rivalry.
Everything. Their names.
They're all jerks. What's the line on this?
Line on this one is Cowboys minus 5.5. Over and under is 46.5.
Oh,
Who you got?
I got Cowboys by a lot in this game. I just think Washington's really bad. I know they're at home. I know they play Dallas good at home. But I also have a bet with a Washington fan. And Washington actually looked a little bit better than I thought they would in week 1. But no, I'm switching. I'm taking Washington. After all that, I'm taking Washington also.
All right.
It's hard for me to say, give the Cowboys credit, but after watching how they handle the Giants, I think the Redskins can make it interesting, but I still think the Cowboys come out on top in this game. They do.
So I'm actually with Quan. I'm taking the Redskins. I'll take the plus 5.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a Case Keenum fan. No, he's not the greatest, but to go into Philly and have the game he had, 30 of 44, 380,
Yeah.
only got sacked once, 3 touchdowns. That shows the offensive line's taking care of him as well. So I like
With a
Washington.
stat line like that, they should have won the game.
They only lost by 5. They could have won that game.
I mean,
Philly had to come back.
they were up enough
They
to.
backdoored
Yeah,
into 5.
exactly.
There was 32-20 at one point.
Yeah.
So I like Washington plus 5.5.
I also like Washington with the points. I think Dallas should probably win the game. I like Dallas with the Washington with the points because I'm not as big of a Case Keenum fan, but I know what it's like when he gets hot and when he's on one of these rolls. He's a tough guy to bet against.
They're
You're
in
like,
sync,
you're
right?
like, how is this game close? It's Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Dink, 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 dink. So it could be in one of those rolls. So I'm not jumping in front of it right now.
What was that?
Think.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, Dave.
Poor little dink, dink.
Ding, ding.
Man, I hate to say this, but I am clearly taking Dallas in this case.
Ooh.
I don't think Washington is good. I think they played the best football they'll play all season at the beginning of that game against Philly, and I think the rest of the game is more of who they actually are.
All right. You heard it here first. All right, next game. Let's go into the afternoon games. Oh, man, this one's going to be rough. We have the Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas hosting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yikes. All right.
Let me tell you, there might be a record broken in this game.
Of what? Fan stabbings?
Shootings, fights.
No, they've already broke those records. I don't know. I think Mahomes is going to go in here and totally destroy them. So what we got on this?
So this right here is Kansas City minus 7 on the road.
That's it.
Over and under 53.5, which to me this should be higher.
Way higher.
But
I mean,
yeah,
we'll get to that.
minus 7 for Kansas City. Over and under 53.5.
Oh gosh. Listen, I want Oakland to win because they're coming here next year, so I'm cheering for them. That's my 1B squad. But I think Kansas City is going to kill them. And and the over. Kansas City and the over. And they win by at least 14.
Todd.
I sort of agree with Quan on this.
I'm taking Oakland.
I can just, after watching Hard Knocks, I can just see John Gruden like in the coach's room all weeks, like watching Mahomes, like, hey, watch this guy. Hey, knock on wood.
Knock on wood if you would be.
Like I
And
would
it's like, we got to stop him, but they don't get it done. I feel like it was a gutsy performance to get to 1-0, but they're not going 2-0 against the Chiefs, who are probably going to win the division and contend for the Super Bowl. So
just so we're clear, there's probably going to be about 16 coaches this year who are going to be in the full room saying we have to stop Mahomes, and probably not going to be able to do it.
Scoot over to your left a little bit too. Just get back in. There you go.
But just for the Hard Knocks thing,
yeah,
if you saw him how he was preparing for the other games and stuff, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I'll make it easy. I'll take Kansas City -7. I'm actually going to bet this game, but what I'm betting
Are you going over?
Yeah, I'm betting over. I think the over is the easiest option in this game.
Yeah.
Because even if Oakland gets steamrolled, they're still going to put up 20, 22, maybe 24 points.
All right.
So,
yeah,
I'll take Kansas City.
I also like the over in this game. I think Kansas City will win this game. If I had to take a side division game, I might go with Oakland only because of the injuries with Tyreek Hill, and who knows how hobbled Mahomes is after spraining that ankle. I'm sure obviously he's going to play, but I don't know how 100% he's going to be.
Well, he obviously slowed way down in that game too after that injury.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe he improved in a week.
Yeah,
maybe he stiffened up.
Abrams is out for the Raiders now.
That
too, though.
part scares me too, but they still got LaMarcus Joyner back there. I also, on the lowest of keys, Joe Flacco did not play that bad on Monday. He looked good throwing the ball. He's just the same old stiff, no internal clock guy.
Yeah.
So they'd have a lot of yards, get down the field, and then he'll take a sack, and you're like, how are you still holding this ball? But he kind of torched him, honestly.
Yeah, secondary didn't look that great.
Didn't look great at all. And they made some great plays, but that's because a lot of it were long drives. I can tell you this: without Abrams being out there might be less penalties on the Raiders.
Yep.
Yep. There it goes.
All right, Dave.
I don't see any way that this Raiders team hangs with this Chiefs team. I think they had a great start to the game. They really jumped on Denver early, but Denver really came back on them and made it quite the close game. When I think that outside of, as you said, Flacco was playing okay, but I think they're going to get crushed. I think this is a very easy cover for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think so too. Saquon. Next game, did everybody pick?
Yeah.
Okay, next game, we have Denver and the Bears, both 0-1. This is in Denver. What we got on that line? And I'm taking the Bears no matter what the line is.
We got the Bears -2.5 on the road. Over and under is 40.5.
Low scoring.
You're still taking the Bears?
I'm taking the Bears, and I think I'm taking the over.
I mean, the altitude of Mile High is tough.
Yeah, it's a mile high.
Their fans are really into it.
You really are the worst.
Bears had a couple.
Me?
Bears had a few extra days because they played that early Thursday night game. I just feel like Flacco is going to be just a sitting duck back there for Bears defense, and I like Chicago. But it's going to be ugly.
I'm with Todd. I'll go ahead and take Chicago -2.5. But betting purposes, I'm with Quan as well. I like the over. I like the 40.5. But with us, I'll go ahead and take the Bears -2.5.
I'm taking the upset. I like the Broncos.
Ooh.
Honestly, I hate that man, but
wow.
I don't like team. Actually, I'm the opposite of Todd. I don't like teams.
Yeah, you're black.
Well,
aside from that,
you're the worst.
See, thank you.
Why does everyone keep calling me the worst? That's mean.
Well, because there's nobody who's worse than you.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't like teams that are coming off the Thursday night game. I feel like 11 days is too much when you just played one game. Denver, historically, their first home game, they have a really, really good record going back like the last 5 to 10 years. Trubisky hasn't shown me anything. This is a really good defense. It didn't really look like it on Monday night. I think they get better. They have maybe the best defensive mind in football with Fangio, and I'm going to go with the upset. As much as I hate to say it, because I do like the Bears and have a lot of Bears fans friends, but this game scares me if I'm a Bears fan.
All right, Dave, who you got?
I think, if you have hopes of the Bears being as good as people think they can be, I think you're already at a must-win game. If this team starts 0-2,
I think you go 0-2.
I think you start seeing real trouble, real question of Trubisky and everything else. They have to come out guns blazing in this game, because if they lose to Denver, then you have to start questioning where their season's going.
That's the thing. I'm not sure guns blazing with Trubisky is a good thing.
Silence.
Not only that, this just so
Oh,
you
it's
guys
bad.
know that line opened Denver -1 and is now flipped to Chicago -2.5. So the public is
wow.
betting Chicago.
Oh,
Oh man.
you idiots.
So you know what that
Wow.
means.
Yeah.
What I said.
All right, what's next?
All right, we got the last game. No,
Yeah.
we don't. We have 2 more games.
No, the Sunday night and Monday night. Or sorry, Sunday.
No, we still have one.
The
more
marquee
Sunday
matchup
afternoon.
of
Also
the
have
week.
the biggest game of the week,
and Monday night.
Yeah, there
and
you go.
Sunday night.
Well, we're not doing Monday night till Monday afternoon.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm sorry.
So we have 2 more games.
Yeah, but is Jose going to be here for that?
For
I
what?
don't know.
So he can give us a pick for
He's
Monday
not
night.
doing anything.
I
L.A.
can always
Rams,
drive
L.A. Rams, and New Orleans Saints.
Woo!
Both 1-0. This is gonna be a great
I've been
early
waiting for- I've been
season
waiting for
game.
this
Jose,
game.
what do we care about Red Zone?
I've been
We've been
waiting
watching
for
this
my
game the
gosh.
entire time. Are you kidding me?
I've been waiting.
What
for
we
this
got?
-2 for the Rams, over and under 52.5.
Ooh,
Todd put his hand up like
Uh-oh.
we're in class.
Ta-da!
What you got?
I think the Rams are so sick of hearing how the refs did them dirty, which they did, and that they shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
Don't get me
I think
started.
they are going to smoke the Saints.
whoa!
Double digits.
Like Steve does weed.
So what have you been
Wow.
smoking? I don't know.
Double digits
Double digits.
Just
in
kidding.
L.A.
That's
Double
all.
digit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yikes.
It's outside.
Double digits.
I mean, Saints, short week, traveling. They could have lost that game to the Texans. And not taking anything away from the
Did.
Texans.
Yeah.
Good, tough team. I just feel like the Rams had this one circled also. Everyone thinks it's a Saints revenge game. I think the Rams show them who they are.
All right, I agree with Todd. I'm going with the Saints.
I see what you
love
did
it.
there.
I love it.
The
I
worst.
love it.
Also, I think the Saints are going to get it. I think they're mad, and they've been looking at this game for a while. They want to win this game. I'm still not a huge golf fan. Now he got paid. Is he going to? I don't know. I feel like he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that got paid, and it's going to maybe fade away a little bit. I don't know. I got New Orleans. I got the over.
I'm gonna ride with Quan. I like the over. I'm actually betting this game as well. It's another game I've been looking at. But I like the Saints. Same thing. I think they're gonna go in there and the opposite of what Todd said. They're gonna go in there and be like, yes, you guys blew this game, and we're gonna show you why. And I'm not sold on Goff. When you're throwing the ball 39 times and you only getting 186 yards and you can't have an average of over 5,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You got paid, but you haven't proven that you earned that money yet, in my
feel you.
opinion. You made it to the Super Bowl, but let's be real, it wasn't all you.
Yeah.
There was a lot more players around you, so I'm taking the Saints +2.
Well, luckily those players are still there, so I'm going to take the Rams. It's Monday. They're coming from Monday night to Sunday. Talk about the Saints. I'm not sure how good that defense is when it should be a defensive team, and they took kind of a step back Monday night. That could just be one of those blips, but let's not forget what the Rams have done the last 2 years on offense, and that's with Goff there. And no matter what you think about how he did it, the fact of the matter is those same guys are still there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Rams,
All right.
and I'm taking the cover as well. And I wouldn't go as far as to predict double digits, but I think they win close to about a touchdown. I think they're kneeling on it in the game.
All right, Dave, who you got?
I'm taking the Rams. I liked a lot of what Todd had to say, but I also like Kareem's point about the Monday night game, especially such an emotional, where they really had to pull it out victory. I think that's going to leave them pretty spent.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams take advantage.
All right. There you have it. 2 of us are right. 3 of them are wrong. We got the Sunday night game. The Birds are playing each other. Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles in Atlanta. What we got on the spread?
Eagles
Is that
are
Stunner
favored on the
Josh Rosen
road. Eagles are favored on the road, -1.5. Over and unders 52.5.
I'm gonna take the under, but I got Philly. I don't like Atlanta at all. They didn't look good. I got Philly. Cream.
I think this game goes over by the third quarter.
Really?
Yeah, I think Philly and Atlanta. I mean, I thought Atlanta looked bad last week, but most teams usually look bad against Minnesota at the beginning of the year. That's what happened last year. So you got to get used to the weird stuff that whatever the coach name I forget right now does.
Doug Peterson.
No, the coach for Minnesota.
Zimmer.
Zimmer. Mike Zimmer. Yeah.
Mike Vick.
Oh, oh no.
That thread.
Don't get me started on him. This is tough. It does suck that there's a Chick-fil-A in that stadium, but it won't be open because it's a Sunday. So I'm going to go with just off spite alone. I'll take Philly.
All right. Jose.
Just going based off of betting money public. This line to open at Falcons minus pick'em actually. So it was actually pick'em game overall. Nobody was favorite. We're at 1.5 now. Everybody's betting Philly. I like Philly. I like what they did. We were talking about Deshaun Jackson earlier. I like the way he came back in game 1. But this is a game that Atlanta needs. I think Philly can afford to lose this game, as crazy as that sounds. Nobody wants to lose a game. But I take Atlanta, man. I'll take them plus the 1.5. I think they're going to win, not just cover that 1.5.
All right. Dave, who you got?
I think Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta had that was a classic Matt Ryan picking up stats in garbage time game last week. I think they really genuinely looked horrible until it was out of reach. I'm going to take Philly.
All right.
You haven't gone to me yet, Quan.
Yeah, Todd.
He was waiting.
Also.
You'll take the opposite.
As a Giants fan, I really dislike the Eagles, and my heart's saying go with the Falcons, but I just don't know if they can get it done at home. They did not look good, like Dave said, at all. But I'm going to go with the Falcons just because I think they will win.
All right. And we will go ahead and do the Monday night game. I didn't realize who was playing, and that's Jose's team. So we'll go ahead and do the Monday night game. Two horrible teams, Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Cleveland is supposed to be good. People were picking them to go far and make the playoffs.
Everything Dave was saying about if the Bears start off 0-2, I feel like that's even more of a thing if the Browns start off 0-2 and lose to the Jets this week.
Definitely.
You're going to have
on Monday night, so everybody's going to be watching. There's a little bit of pressure knowing that. What do we got on the line?
Browns are favored on the road, as they should be, and this is coming from a Jets fan. Browns are favored minus 6.5. I still think that number is high, but yes, they are favored minus 6.5. Over and under is 44.
All right, the problem with this game, which might actually be a blessing in disguise, is Sam Darnold has mono.
Ouch.
So he's out indefinitely. Who's their backup?
Trevor Siemian.
So he's better than Darnold.
Stop it.
Yeah. I think I can go out there and throw the ball better than Siemian can.
Don't have McNown anymore.
I know, right? McNown is gone. I'm pretty sure the Jets are hating the fact that they traded Teddy Bridgewater right about now.
Yeah.
But,
maybe not.
Who you got, Quan? Talk bad about my team. Go ahead.
I mean, they are bad. They are really bad. And now they don't have their starting quarterback.
And their wide receiver's out, too, right? What's his face? With the... How to say his name? With the Q.
Oh, well, they haven't had
Inua.
Yeah, he hasn't been there in a year.
That guy gets hurt every freaking year.
I know.
Oh, it's his neck.
But he was on the... He was okay.
He was okay to start the season, and then all of a sudden he got hurt.
His neck. You're never okay when your neck is hurt. You miss a whole year for
your
neck.
But now he's out. Now he's out.
You're never okay when you play with the Jets, period.
You never play when you play football, obviously. But
who you got?
I got the Browns. I'm sorry. I want to take the Jets, but they're horrible. I don't like them at all.
I don't know I won't go as far as to call them horrible. I mean, they were just a terrible kicker away from winning that game last week. We're not even talking about this. I can see Simeon playing well at home, getting a little boost from the crowd. The home dog on Monday night, I will definitely bet the Jets. To win straight up, you know what? But OBJ in New York and bright lights. Oof, that scares me.
He's back.
I'll take Cleveland to win the game, but the Jets definitely cover.
Yeah, I think there's just too many things going on with the Jets, with their quarterback.
That's just the thing. That's the one.
They lost the game. I think the Browns can't start 0-2 for all those reasons, like the Bears. It's just going to be too much pressure. Beckham will implode. Everyone's going to start pointing fingers this early. It's not going to be good. I feel like the Browns are going to pull it out. I'm sorry, Dad. My dad's a big Jets fan as well. I used to go to Jet games as a kid.
Is he watching the show?
No,
Wait, Quan's trying to
he
make
doesn't
sure
have.
that that's-
He doesn't
have a
he doesn't have.
smartphone.
He doesn't have
He's
Facebook.
watching as much as Todd does.
But we have YouTube also. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch,
I'll tell him.
So who you
Periscope,
got,
I'm sure he's
Ty?
got all those.
Gorilla
I
Cross
think
app.
the Browns are going to win.
All right.
Straight up.
Straight up now, tell me.
So this coming.
Kareem forever.
I would love to see
Ho,
them
ho,
implode.
Jose.
Oh my!
How far we've
God.
come though that we're like
Paul
the
Abdul?
Browns are
Oh.
the
Listen,
Browns are favored on a road game.
I agree with both of you guys. This has become that game for the Browns that if they go 0-2, where's their season going to go? You have
Yeah.
high expectations. Everybody thought this team could possibly win a Super Bowl or even make the playoffs. You know, the betting lines tell you about it because their odds went super
Yeah.
down as a favorite when they got OBJ. This is coming from a Jets fan. We're garbage. I don't like Adam Gase as a coach. The only hire that I do like was when we got Greg Williams. I think he's a great defensive mind. Aside from that, that whole organization is in shambles and needs to be redone. Okay, so the Jets are just a disgrace, and that's why they're called gangrene. They're garbage.
Wow.
With that being said,
I think it's
I'm
'cause they wear
taking
green.
Cleveland -6.5, and I think Cleveland's going to win by at least 14 points or more, and I predict that OBJ will have another accessory on that day.
2 watches.
2 watches at the same
All
time.
right.
Let's go.
Dave.
I got the Browns in this, and I'm agreeing with this. Jose. I think it's easy. I think they know that they have to show up this week,
Yeah.
and I do not think the Jets are very good. And Trevor Siemian is garbage.
And with all that being said, if they do lose to the Jets, who everyone thinks is garbage right now,
Good luck.
what does that say about the Cleveland Browns?
They're not who
Then
we
write them
thought
off.
they
And
were.
on that note, I got to cut out, guys.
All right, we got to cut you out anyways. No, you hang
Have a
up.
good one.
All right.
No, you hang up. No, you do it.
All right, so that's our picks for this week. Other sports news. Antonio Brown. The Patriots did not
All right,
know.
I'll see you later, Quan.
He said he doesn't have mental health issues, which we'll talk about that in a minute. I think he does.
I think everybody does.
I think you do.
At some point.
I agree.
Um,
There's levels to everything.
They say the Patriots didn't know that this civil suit was in the talks for months. This has been going on for a while. They've been going back and forth. His representatives, Brittany Taylor's representatives, they've been talking about it for a while. When New England signed him, they didn't know this was going on. Do you think the teams have to know everything, first of all? This is obviously a big deal. And do you think this is going to matter with him playing or not playing in New England?
I think that it should matter. Just like if you get a job anywhere else, they do a full background check. They want to check your criminal record, see if
But
you have
this
a DUI
wouldn't
or
go
whatever
on
it
a
means.
background check.
But this is a whole different scenario. You're in a professional franchise. You're in a professional sport, the premier sport in all of the world. As people like to say, the NFL, football is the greatest sport to some people. Yes, I think they should know everything and anything that may be going on in this guy's personal life. Whether you ask him or get a private investigator or whatever it may be, you don't know what you're signing yourself onto, whether you're giving this guy $15 million, $5 million, $1 million. You're hiring this guy to do a job. If he's got baggage, you need to know what that baggage is. Granted, I didn't know that this lawsuit was going on for a while, but it looks like it was just recently filed or whatever it may have been. But the whole issue has been going on for a while. So New England either knew or had to know about this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they could know if there was no criminal charges filed and they hadn't filed a civil case yet. I don't know how they could know. Nothing was filed, so I don't know how they could have known other than some text messages going back and forth.
And if Antonio Brown and his people are saying like they're keeping it confidential between his people and her people, then it might be something. Why do I need to say anything if this is going to be handled behind the scenes?
Here's the
and
thing,
dealt
though.
with?
She's suing for $75,000. I'm not going to use. Listen, this isn't about guilt or innocence.
Oh,
It's
you
not,
should have gave it to
that's
him.
not what I get. Well, that's my point. My thing is $75,000 isn't a lot to him. Now you can
It's
take
a principle.
You can take from that what you will. The fact that he didn't settle, but if he knows he has $75,000 and knows he's not going to pay it, then he knew that this lawsuit was coming.
Yeah.
So he should have said something.
Yeah, I didn't know that part. Wow.
It'd be one thing if she's asking for $5 million. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not saying anything
Now you're
because,
trying to
because
extort me,
we're
maybe.
negotiating at
Yeah.
this point. Okay, I'll give you 3.2. We're negotiating. If she's only asked for 75 and you're saying, I'm not paying that, well, you think she's going to go down to 25? No. So you knew the lawsuit was coming. They should have known. You should have told them.
75? If I was his
75,000.
lawyer, I would have just paid it.
Right.
Seriously.
But then at that point, they're going to bring up even more stories, even more allegations. Why did he pay her off? Why didn't he fight it?
They wouldn't have known. This was confidential. 75,000. His lawyer should have just paid that out of his own pocket. Yeah. He's getting enough to.
Trump lawyers try to do that.
Here's the thing, though. If you believe, which I'm not saying it's true or not. If you believe that someone is extorting you, and you give them $75,000,
then they can
what's to stop them from saying, okay, well, guess what? Now I need 50.
Want $1 million.
Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening at all. Please don't take it the wrong way. I don't know what went on. But if that's the belief, you got to stop it somewhere. Even listen, let's say he did it at some point. You got to be like, okay, listen, either I'm giving you the whole bag right now, or we're cutting this off, and I'll see you in court.
And I just saw on the line it said they wouldn't have known because it would have breached the confidentiality that they have between the two.
See, I didn't know that.
So everybody has
between him and the girl that's suing him. Okay.
But yet somehow people still find out about him.
Come on, it's
because
she
filed now, so it went beyond the confidentiality, and she
listen. How many?
So let me ask you a question.
How many NDAs did Weinstein have? And people still find out about those.
Yeah. Did you guys see any of the texts or alleged texts or emails? Like, I'm not trying to back anybody right now. I'm just trying to say, like, if you look at a lot of the stuff that is going on, there's not much good that's coming from her side that's saying she's telling the truth. As where some of the stuff that has came out shows that Antonio Brown's just a moron, and we know that.
Right.
Yeah. But it also shows that it doesn't really look like he did anything wrong. We know
it doesn't look like he thinks he did anything wrong.
But
that's what you're saying.
But here's what I'm saying. She's trying to make it seem like he did stuff without his consent or whatever.
These emails don't prove anything.
But I know, but there's videos of them hanging out and doing things and this and that look like they were cool. So it's like, I mean, who is right and who's wrong? Who's telling the truth and who isn't? That's what's hard. Yeah. Because especially if it's from a couple years back and now you're coming out after everything that's happening.
I
will
tell you this. I can tell you that probably for about 20 years, there's probably a lot of video evidence of Tina Turner and Ike Turner getting along too.
True. Yeah.
Things can still happen when you get along. When you get along on camera.
No, I get it.
So again, I'm not saying he did it. I'm saying that.
And I'm not saying he didn't do it either.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's millions of cases of something happening this way and millions of cases happening this way, and none of us know. That's my point. I think that's my major point.
And the only thing
I don't know.
The only thing that I'm trying to get to is because, like we said, there's two sides to this story. I'm not going to blame one person. I don't know much about her story or about the other story.
Right.
But then you bring in the Me Too movement and all that. That's where you bring a bad name to some other people that are possibly doing the right things. So there's a lot of, but that's what I'm saying. Hopefully she is telling the truth and not just trying to extort him for what's going on right now.
I hope she isn't telling the truth.
Because think about it. All the people that have been bashing Antonio Brown for what he went on with the Raiders or in his personal career or being a clown, as everybody's calling him. If this truly comes out that he did nothing wrong and she was lying about the whole thing, how great is he going to look after all of that? Let's be real. He's still going to be a clown, but how good is he going to be looking when he was trying to prove to everybody from the get-go, I did nothing wrong. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at all of that too. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. To be honest with you, I normally side with women on this, but from what it looks like, I just think this is a relationship gone wrong. She got upset. And
she wanted money.
That's all it is.
She wanted him to donate to her fund and all that, or her organization.
Yeah, her
there's a lot there.
However, to play the other side of that, you've got to understand how many athletes never go to prison.
Oh, of course, I know.
So listen, I say the same thing when it comes to cop killings. Okay, listen, however you feel about it, that's however you feel about it. But you mean to tell me that none of them are guilty? So people always say, well, we know there are some bad cops. So you're telling me none of them ever are guilty? Ever, ever, ever? So every single one that's gone to court happens to be the innocent one every time? Every time. Let's just say that the thing's all blown out of proportion, but all of them did nothing wrong? So it's the same thing. So of these athletes who've been accused of this stuff, so far, all of them did nothing? So the point I'm making with that is there has been plenty of women who've taken guys to court. They don't go to prison. And when you don't go to prison, then you try to do a civil case. They say, well, guess what? I was found innocent. You can't get any money. If it was me, I'd go straight to civil too. I'm not messing with the criminal case.
But the problem here too is that there's a lot of athletes that are single or do have wives and cheat on their wives, or are single and are going around having relationships with these women. A lot of these women are just upset women that it didn't go their way and they're trying to get money.
Well,
a lot of these players didn't forcefully do certain things.
But a lot of these players think because they have money, they could do whatever they want.
I agree, and that's the bad thing about it.
Because we've seen Antonio Brown looking like we've seen Antonio Brown the past 6-7 months since he sat out the last game in Pittsburgh, looking and thinking he can do whatever he wants. And because he is who he is, he's the best wide receiver. He has all this money that he could just do whatever he wants. He doesn't care about authority. He doesn't care what people say. You know what I'm saying? So you have that aspect of it too, where when people get money that might not have had money before, they get this power. And we know a lot of men with power think they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but
to and with whoever they want.
That's a pretty big stretch from not showing up to your last game and raping someone. You know what I mean? It's a.
But I'm saying it's still the
leap.
characteristic.
Still a big leap. I listen.
It's still the my point was my point with that was somebody like that thinking you could do whatever you want, and it wasn't just missing the last game, but that's everything else that's happened since then too. Saying he was going to retire if he didn't get the right helmet, like. Having that entitlement issue that a lot of people have these days could lead to something like that. Like I said, I don't know the sides. I'm not picking a side because I wasn't there. I'm not going to be one of those people saying she's a liar. I'm not going to be one of those people saying he's innocent. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. From what I look at, what I see in the paper, what I see on both sides of the story, I'm not sure. It does look like she's just trying to get money, but who knows?
Todd, you got anything to say? He's been quiet.
I just think these cases are tough now, especially with social media. Everyone jumping to conclusions and finger pointing and Me Too movement.
The social media jury has their conviction within 5 minutes of anything
I know.
that happens.
As soon as the news breaks and everything and allegations, it's always tough. So I think you just have to wait it out and wait till more facts come out before you can really do it. The thing is, he's practiced with the team, right? He's gonna probably play maybe next week. Is that the plan for them?
I mean, he might play Sunday. They
might
haven't ruled him out on Sunday
He's been
yet.
practicing this week. So.
I mean, I feel like he's got a new deal and he's going to work through these charges. The Patriots,
they're not charges.
Yeah, they're not even charges, right?
But here's the thing, too, though. If it doesn't work out in New England, where is it going to work out for the guy?
Well, let's talk about...
Quan, yes, I'm a supporter of Antonio
Let's talk
Brown,
about
but
that.
if it doesn't work out
let's
there,
talk about that part of it.
Before we get that, can I say one thing before this?
No.
So we don't.
Go ahead.
One thing I want to make sure that we don't do that we do a lot is we say Me Too movement, but the way we kind of say is a little sarcastically and quote unquote Me Too movement. Let's not forget that the reason why there is a Me Too movement is because women were getting raped.
No, I got it.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not blaming anybody.
I'm
just saying I just want to make sure that we don't talk about it flippantly. I want to make sure that we give it the
respect.
The
that
respect.
It deserves.
That's all I'm saying.
I got it.
Just that we all. I mean, me too. Wait, hey, say
that.
Hey, I mean, me as well. Me also. I have to watch that myself too.
Yeah.
Make sure that we give it the respect it deserves.
All right, now going to this Antonio Brown signing to the Patriots now. Do you hold him out of games until you figure out what's up? Because we've seen this happen before where people are accused of something in the NFL and they do sit him out. There's been players that have been kicked off the team. 49ers did that last year, but that was like his third time. You know what I'm saying? But he was found innocent every single time. So is this something with the Patriots that...
I think the Patriots' perspective, if he's healthy to play and you feel like he's comfortable enough with the playbook and the system and he can go out there and be productive and give you guys what you're paying him to give him, then you play the guy.
Especially when you have an owner that might have a conviction, a accusation that would that be a little hypocritical if he said you can't play?
Probably not the owner's decision. I know what you mean. I mean, he ultimately has to sign off on stuff, right?
It is the owner's decision in a way. They could sit him.
Yeah, I guess they could.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's more of a coach's thing or maybe a GM's thing. But the coach. I don't think that he can come out and say, wag his finger after people are calling him out for doing things in that massage parlor in Miami or whatever, So that's where it happened, right?
I'm not sure. I wasn't there.
Bob Kraft.
Oh, we didn't have to be
allegedly.
There. We don't have to be there. There was video.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank that judge who was the real MVP for not letting that video ever get leaked. Because I can tell you what I'd never, ever need in my life is to see some 80-year-old balls.
Wow.
Ever.
Okay.
All right. We won't jump right into that.
You know what? I thought of a way I could censor that, but no.
There is no way.
No, what am I going to say?
And,
we don't know.
And my answer to that, to what you were talking about Antonio Brown.
Sound better, Beavis?
Grapefruits.
Grapefruits.
But my thing is, no. You play Antonio Brown. You play him regardless of what's going on because it's a civil lawsuit. It's not a criminal investigation. Not only that, the NFL hasn't come down and said they're going to do anything anyways. So in my opinion, as long as he's not becoming more of a distraction at practice and on the field or in the locker room, you play him until something does come down and you have to suspend it. Aside from that, he's going about it the way he should. He's handling it with his lawyers or whatever it is. If the Patriots give him the chance and they want to give him the chance to be that circus in their area, then so be it. But you know what he's bringing to the table. You knew what he was going to bring to the table when you signed him. Plus, New England's not perfect.
I don't know if they thought this.
But I'm not talking about that, but the circus in general. You know who Antonio Brown is regardless.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is now, does Tom Brady still want him in his home?
In his home?
Yeah. Remember
That's what he says. He said he can
Right
live
now
with him.
around
He said
Giselle.
exactly. He said you can live with me and move on in.
Oh.
I don't think Giselle's going to like that
Well,
too
if you
much,
can't,
No,
if you can't
especially if
trust him in
she's
your home,
especially if she's watching a movie at night.
Maybe it's in his other
though. You don't
house.
want, yeah,
You're gonna turn around like, what are you doing behind me, Antonio?
well, let me tell you something.
I'm sure Brady has a few houses.
Is that
If you
yogurt?
can't, if
Tom Brady has
nope.
a few houses.
Yeah, he can move in one of them, not just
If
that
you
one.
can't trust him in your home, then maybe you shouldn't be playing him.
I didn't even know we had yogurt in the fridge.
Here's my thing. One, the NFL is going to investigate. They're bringing in Brittany Johnson. Is that what it is?
Brittany Taylor?
Brittany Taylor.
Britney Spears?
I just assume she's a Johnson. Anyway,
Wow.
Johnson
what?
and Johnson.
I never would assume she was a Brittany. I'll give you that. They're bringing her in for an interview, but they're waiting for her wedding to happen. Which who knows?
Oh, gosh.
Who knows?
Nope.
Nope.
Need someone to pay for it? Sorry. I said it. How much is your wedding? 75,000.
We want live doves. Anyway,
You're a fool.
70,000. I got to
Need 5,000 for the honeymoon.
But yeah, they are bringing her in for an interview. So the only thing I would say, I would say in normal situations, absolutely play him. I would just say if I was them, I probably wouldn't play him only because they're playing the Dolphins. Other than that, it had nothing to do with guilt or innocence.
Okay.
Just
Go
because
back
it's
to the
like, you know
stat
what? If
aspect,
I'm
I
gonna
got you.
let me take 2 weeks to put in some of AB's plays, and then
And they could even say that too. Just give him another week to
unleash
get
him,
with the team.
unleash him on the next team.
And then if something happens next week sometime, then maybe you consider just, okay, well, now too much is going on.
But at the same time, if you really do want him on your team, telling him no, you're not playing this week probably isn't going to keep him from going unhinged.
Yeah.
So
And here, if this would have came out and he was still on the Raiders and didn't get released from the Raiders already, he would have got released
and he
from the
wouldn't-
Raiders.
And he wouldn't be on the Patriots.
And he wouldn't be on the Patriots. He would just be, well, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
If you think the timing was a day or two off, you think someone would still
I think
offer
the
him
timing
something?
was
I don't
actually
think so.
no. I don't think they would have.
Exactly.
I think they would have had to wait to see how it played out before
I don't
they.
think the Raiders would have cut him.
I think they would have. They
I think
already wanted to cut him.
We'll never know.
What if the allegations would have came
If
out?
they- if-
they would
if
have probably
that
cut him
would've
right then.
came
and
Oh,
there.
you
out.
mean if that goes with all the other stuff you already got fined for? I got
Yeah.
you. I got you. Yeah, that'd probably been the last straw.
That would have been the last
if
straw.
they didn't
But-
release
but if
him
it
on
wasn't-
Saturday and then this came out, they would have released
I don't
him.
understand why they didn't release him Saturday.
But I'm saying is they would have released him either before or after it came out. If he would have released before the Patriots picked him up, I don't think he'd be on a roster right now.
Well, here's the thing though. I'm not sure that really matters. I think the Patriots could legit just cut him right now, and it wouldn't matter to them.
They honestly they look
No,
so
he,
But they
good.
wouldn't have
he's saying-
signed him
he's
in the
saying
first
that-
place.
Yeah, he's saying they wouldn't have signed him if he would have got
Right.
if these allegations would have came out before.
Right. I see what you're saying, but if that's the case, then why wouldn't they just cut him now then?
Well, it's different
It's
picking
different
him
now
up
that you have
after
him.
they
Yeah.
already have him. So it's
They're
different
basically going to gather their information now and do their due
from the
diligence.
public
Yeah.
looking at things. It's definitely different. If you already have him on the team, okay, cool. If you pick him up after these allegations, it's a public black eye. Not that they would necessarily care, but it's the public black eye.
I could see that. I just
Not black guy, black eye.
Right.
Black
As
eye.
long as we're not saying that they're doing this out of any morality, because the Patriots don't have that.
They act like they do, though.
They don't have that.
They
at
have
all.
none whatsoever.
They care about winning
They're
Super Bowls,
cheaters,
they
and
don't
we know
care,
it.
and they don't care who.
That's why for people, in my opinion, till this day, I don't care what anybody says. For people to keep calling Bill Belichick the greatest coach of all time after you officially got caught cheating, I'm sorry, you are not the greatest coach of all time. You got caught cheating.
You know what it
It's a
took to
fact.
get cut from the Patriots?
That's all I'm saying.
Murdering people.
Oh yeah.
That's what it took to finally get cut. They were like, "Ugh, I don't think it's going to be a practice this week."
Why not? He's in jail for murder.
Murder. He's
Well,
on.
when
He's
does
on
he
the
get out?
longest yard team.
Never.
Never.
He's
Oh.
out now.
Gone forever.
Uh-oh.
Gone.
Gotta bring that up.
Wow. Well,
So, yeah.
no news is good news.
No news is good news.
No
but
news?
No news is good.
No news?
What?
You said news?
He said no news.
News?
And then for everybody out there that's saying that Antonio Brown did this purposely, that it was part of the master plan
Oh, my
and all
God.
that, get over yourself and get over it.
Let me tell you
Let's be
something.
real.
Please,
it was not part of any master
Please
plan.
read Antonio Brown's email one time and tell me he masterminded anything.
Oh, no.
It-
Floyd,
Come
Mayweather,
on.
Floyd Mayweather wrote that.
Oh, yeah. Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd
was
Mayweather's
a
out there
teacher.
like, hey, that guy's dumb.
He can't write.
That
Look
guy
at
can't
that.
read.
What
Can't
is he
read at
talking
all.
about? But I just think it's just the way that it worked out. It worked out that he ended up going to a team that probably he didn't want to be. The whole show with the video of him screaming and yelling, "I'm free" and this and that. People just take
It's
too
TV.
much. People watch that and they over exaggerate and put too much out there.
But he over exaggerates too,
Of
having
course,
a cameraman
of
follow him
course.
his whole life.
But here's the thing: the final straw was after the video that.
And
he
where was his
posted with John
cameraman when
Gruden.
he was with Brittany Taylor?
It was his phone.
Oh,
That's what he was his own cameraman.
No,
But the
he has a
No,
cameraman.
and that's the thing. The final straw was that video with John Gruden. And I don't know if you guys heard the whole story. They interviewed the producer or whatever, the guy, his cameraman.
Gruden was cool with it.
He
Gruden
sent
knew.
it to Gruden, and Gruden was like, "I love it, I love it, I love it." So he took that as consent. We can use this video.
Well, not
After the video was when they came out, and that's when everything hit the fan. And basically, we all know what happened when that.
I wonder-
Well,
Yeah.
at least Gruden gave consent.
I also wonder.
Well, no, they were talking about it. I forgot what show I heard it on, but they were talking
It was
about it on the show.
Levitard show. Yeah.
And I read some other stuff. Legally, by that, they're letting them know what you think. He likes it. They can take that as he approved it.
I also wonder if
You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing
if
about
John
it.
Gruden was just playing the good cop the entire time.
If you watch Hard Knocks, it kind of looked that way. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
was always on Brown's
It didn't look
side.
like
He was always
Mayock
nice.
was playing bad cop until.
I don't like Mayock. Don't get me started with him.
You like him?
I don't.
Oh,
like
nobody does.
I think
I don't hate him. I think it was a terrible idea.
Well,
Terrible
so here's the
hire.
thing.
But
I don't hate him, but I agree. It's a terrible hire. You hired a guy that has no experience whatsoever, has friends in the business, and that's it. You're an analyst when there's a bunch of other, and I mean bunch of other highly qualified people that could be GMs in this league. We all know if something goes wrong and it does not work, I've been saying it over and over again. John Gruden is going to be doing this with Mike Mayock. He is the puppet. Everything that goes wrong, it's going to be on, oh, well, Mike Mayock wasn't a general
100%.
manager. Oh, he had no experience. We tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
Another reason why I didn't like the hire was because I've always thought John Gruden, the coach, can coach, but John Gruden always gets in his own way by trying to do the GM part. And when you have a guy who's basically when you hire the college football guy, what you're saying is he's only here for the draft because I don't know college, which means I'll handle the free agents. And to his credit, they had a great offseason. Even if you take away the Antonio Brown part, they had a great offseason. They got one of the best tackles in the league. They pumped up their defense, got some good safeties. We're having a really good offseason. So in his defense, he did do well. That's the one thing I can say about Mayock. But I didn't like the hire at the time.
But let's be real,
We'll see
though.
what
Was it
happens.
really him that was bringing in those players and doing all that, or was it really John Gruden behind the scenes? Obviously, Mayock is
Have
going
you
to be the
seen
one that
Gruden
gets
as a
the name.
GM before?
I'm just
He
saying.
had Bruce Gradkowski and Chris Sims.
I'm just saying. Look how many older players they got rid of, and look how many younger players they have on this roster. 4 of them, I believe, were undrafted free
Undrafted.
agents. John Gruden likes young guys.
John Gruden likes old guys.
The way
John Gruden got 1,000 yards out of Jerry Rice and Tim Brown, and they were fossils.
This was back in the day. We're talking about now. Look
And
at what this Gruden camps and the young guys and the players and the stuff that
His
he likes to
last
do.
quarterback was Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia was like
We're not
38.
talking about with the Raiders now. We're not talking about the past. I'm talking about now.
I
The
just
players that he's bringing in now. The
But how
type
do
of
we?
players
How,
that he wants now?
how are we to know that he likes young guys
I don't think it's
based on
Michael
10 years
Jackson.
of him not playing?
Michael Jackson. Is that
of not coaching. I don't know.
He played for the Baltimore Ravens and the
Michael
Cleveland
Jackson,
Browns.
yeah.
You
I
do
don't-
know that, right?
That what?
That Michael Jackson played for the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. You didn't know that? What? Am I lying?
No, he did.
Oh, God.
Not the Michael Jackson.
Not
all
the
I,
Michael
all I heard was
Jackson.
Browns and ball, and I was like, there's a joke in here somewhere.
No.
Wow.
You're
Not
still
everybody's
stuck on
you.
balls, aren't you? You're still stuck on balls over there.
Melissa jumped in right.
Yeah.
That's how
Jumped
rumors
in
get
on
started.
the live feed right when you were talking about 80-year-old balls.
You're welcome.
Oh, she said something about the yogurt. It's been expired.
I don't know.
Nope.
Melissa is horrible.
This was fun, though, man. Fun.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Tune in every Monday, 4 p.m. West Coast time right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. Every Thursday, 2 p.m. West Coast time for Unnamed Sports Show. And we have live shows every week. Check out Girl Chat Sports Wednesdays at 6. Let the Ball Bounce, Tuesdays at 6 and Saturdays at 2 p.m. West Coast time. Download the Guerilla Cross app. Any last words, Todd?
It's nice to be here twice in a week.
Oh,
well,
what?
it's not twice in a week.
Well, no, it was 7 days ago.
It was last week.
So,
and
it's
now-
still once a week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think I can try to start making it a little bit more. We'll see. Or at least calling in for
We'll
the
see if we
fantasy
let you.
updates.
Yeah.
Also. And Jose, dude, thanks for coming in. We'll
Appreciate
have you on again sometime.
Jose.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Cream? It's cool that you're here.
I try to be as mediocre as possible.
You pretty much are.
Thanks.
But download the Guerilla Cross app. Tune in tomorrow for Speak Live Radio. We got an interview with my man. I can't remember his name. Reed B versus. He's a hip hop artist. I forgot who we had on. I have like 3 lined up the next 3 weeks, and I forgot who was who. So tune in 12 noon for a hip hop show where we're gonna review music. You want to review music with us tomorrow? Are you doing anything? 12 noon? Maybe Jose will be here. Review music with us.
Why not?
We will tell you how bad your music is. If it's bad, if it's good, we'll tell you it's good. But we will be here live on Guerilla Cross Radio. Download the app. You can watch live. You can listen live. You can watch the replays, and you get news and all that. Make sure you turn on your notifications to get breaking news updates whenever news breaks.
I have a question. When you review music, do you play it on air?
We play it live on air.
And then
We have them submit music to us.
okay,
We never listen to it.
got it.
We're listening to it for the first time with
so it's
the
like
listeners
your
and the viewers.
initial rapid reaction.
We keep the mics on now. We used to not keep the mics on. We only had the cameras on, but now we keep the mics on.
Okay.
And sometimes it's not good at all.
Okay.
But then sometimes we get some really good music that we actually put into our 24-hour radio feed. So you never know.
So
You might find a
submit
gem.
your mixtape.
Well, not mixtape, but just
Your
one
single.
single.
Your
Just
single.
one single.
All right.
Are you submitting your single?
I got a single.
T minus.
T minus.
Final countdown.
I should submit my verse.
You should. You should. All right, man. We appreciate you guys, and tune in to everything we do. Guerilla Cross, Unnamed Sports Show. See you guys next week.